stopped it. I think my cat can fuck off.
Sure, we're live.
What a live opening. The man's a professional.
Okay, so we go.
Yes, boy, that was a great moment.
Hello, my name is Joe Trier, and welcome to the Frozen North. As you may know, 2 years ago, the sun disappeared, blocked, many believe, by the terrible magic of Oriel, the Frost Maiden, goddess of winter's wrath. The residents of the 10 towns and the creatures of Icewind Dale have been living in perpetual darkness, trapped between the tempestuous sea of moving ice and the now unpassable mountains of the spine of the world and the mighty Reghed Glacier. But as you all learn, the people of the surface world aren't the only ones affected by the fickle will of this mysterious entity. Deep below the surface, the twisting passages of the Underdark have also been assaulted by her powers. Let us then move our camera down, past the shallow minds of the humans, past even the deep-rooted minds of the dwarves, to the lower dark. There we see the tunnels and caves, once ruled by creatures of shadow and darkness, are now choked with ice, or flooded with raging water from the sea. For many creatures of this subterranean realm, there has been no escape. Let us move our camera in once again to where a figure is clinging to a frozen rock face deep underground. Kuran, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing bad? I don't know. Where am I?
Well, before we go into that, tell us a bit about your character.
Graham is a lovable rogue. I don't know if he's lovable. Anyway, he's he comes from Mirabar, and he's found himself in this Icewind Dale. And I think last episode or last adventure, we ended with me having something inside me, and I didn't know what to make of that. So,
well, now you are deep underground. You've been climbing for hours through darkness. Below you, far, far below you, is a seething torrent of icy water. Above, hopefully, is the surface world. You place one frozen hand above the other, and despite the terrible hunger or pain in your gut, you push on. As you climb, I'd like you to give me a climb roll. Now, the way we do this in Dungeons & Dragons, I'm sure you know, you can either give me a strength athletics or a dexterity acrobatics roll.
So I'll do acrobatics. Give that a go. Wait, did I not roll? There we go. Oh, I did roll. Ooh, I got 12 plus 5. 17.
12 plus 5, fantastic. You almost fall for a moment, but despite the frozen chill that's made its way into the muscles of your fingers, you nimbly find a hidden hold, something that wasn't visible at all in the darkness, and hold on. And you manage to pull yourself up. And you climb for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Time really has no meaning down here. But suddenly you begin to see a glow from above you. And your hand reaches a ledge. It's cold and it's wet and slick, but you pull yourself onto it. The ledge stretches out to the left into darkness, although it does seem to open up wider. But to the right, there is a flickering, glinting light. Candlelight, maybe? Which direction do you want to explore?
I'd like to go towards what might be the candlelight, I think.
You stumble and you realize that you haven't eaten for days and you can barely drag yourself forward. With every step you sink lower and lower, but hopefully there's help ahead. You look down and you realize you're crawling. You make one more pull and the room opens up, but it's not candlelight. What is in front of you are shining crystals with fire glowing deep within. You manage to pull yourself forward, and with one last gasp of breath, you send forward a scream, a denial of your death, as that is what happens.
No!
and your eyes close for a final time.
Wait, what?
You open your eyes with a start.
Oh,
You're still alive. Don't worry.
Right, okay. I see what you did there. Right.
This was just another dream. Although, as you awake, you still have this pain in your gut. This pain has been here for, well, it's actually almost been 10. It's almost been a 10 days since the events of Dugan Hall that we played in D&D Celebration last week. Since you fell from the sky inside the burning comet. Every night you've been plagued by this same dream. This dream of being stuck deep underground and dying buried alive. But when you're awake, there's no respite at all. You hear this call from the north, this scream for help that just pounds against your senses, but no one else can hear it. You've told your friends, you've spoken to them, and it's driving you mad because as far as they're concerned, they can't hear a thing. Luckily, your two new companions have agreed to journey north with you in search of an answer to this call. So let's introduce them. Owen, first up, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Looking pretty swish.
Well, apparently the Discord called for more waistcoats. I did it for a joke in episode 1. Now I'm stuck wearing them for the rest of my life. This is now my life. Looking like a bad waiter.
Let's. I think you look fantastic. Tell us a bit about your character. Is your character dressed equally well?
He's pretty swish looking. So Xalfiz the Practical is a gnome artificer, kind of kitted out in basically fur-lined, almost looking like a science coat, a white leather coat, little Ugg boots. He has what I in the first episode under Nerve said was a 6 foot tall, spiked up hairdo. He's 6 inches tall. He's only 3.5 feet tall. Spiked up kind of like Jimmy Neutron cone hair and a very stylized mustache. His little companion with him is Lady Penelope Grenadier, or Lady Penguin, a little 1.5 foot tall automated mechanical penguin.
Nice, fantastic. And there's some amazing art out for both all your characters, actually, if you want to check them out.
Yeah.
Niall, welcome back to the show. Again, thank you for joining us so much. Tell us a bit about your character.
Hey, I'm Niall, and I am playing. I'm playing Gann. He's a large, about 8 foot tall furbolg that's like 300 pounds. Big bushy beard, black messy hair. Not used to being in civilization. Usually spends most of his time in the forest before he came down and joined these ragtag adventurers.
So
ragtag.
Yeah, well, exactly. Have you seen how we're dressed? So you've agreed to accompany your new pal Graham to the north. I don't know if either of you ever journeyed to the town of Tourmaline before, but it's one of the bigger towns of Ten Town. It's on the side of one of the biggest lakes, Meydn. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. And it's also near a very large pine forest. So like the few towns that have access to wood, they can use that in their building, they can use it for fuel. So in some ways, they're doing better than some of the others. Obviously, for the last 2 years, all of you in 10 towns have been living in perpetual darkness. So you've all, I guess, either made your way through the snow on snowshoes, or do you think you would have trumped up the cost of hiring a dog sleigh?
We probably would have walked.
Yeah.
Xalfiz.
Honestly,
Don't like Xalfiz. Or Gann, we learned last episode.
yeah, I was gonna say Gann.
Okay, so I'm probably 8 foot tall. You'd have to get a really big dog sled, and they're quite expensive.
Well, I
You're
could
those
just
horse dogs.
transform into a dog.
Fair, yeah,
We're
you
just
could
like
do
mush.
actually.
Mush gone.
The other cool thing, again, if anyone hasn't traveled around 10 towns before, you can hire things called axe beaks, which are these enormous birds that you can ride upon and they can charge across the snow. But I guess you're kind of lowly level 2 adventurers.
You get
Probably-
chocobos.
Yeah, they are like chocobos. Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
We can get chocobos.
The thing is, you got to get all the eggs right and breed them so you get the golden ones there. So anyway, you arrive at Tourmaline probably about mid-morning, late morning. It's about as light as it ever gets in 10 towns. You can just see on the distant horizon a faint red glow of the sun. Tourmaline is famous for a few things. First of all, the people that originally moved here carved their houses in beautiful sculpture, beautiful relief. So rather than plain wooden or stone houses like the rest of them, these have these incredible carvings of wizards and dragons and tigers. They are absolutely stunning. The other thing that they're famous for is the wind blows off the Reghed Glacier. This is one of the coldest towns in the entirety of 10 towns. And you arrive, you see to your left the Meydn, the incredible lake, and most of it's frozen, but right in the center there are a number of boats still fishing for the knuckleheads. And there is a small number of people striding through the snow and wind. I don't know if you probably don't know anywhere to stay. There are a few people moving around. There's a young boy kind of waving gloves in the air over to one side. There's some fishermen to your left who have just come off the lake as well.
I think we should probably look for an inn. Xalfiz.
Yes, Xalfiz would like a drink. I agree.
I agree. I could use a drink for sure.
Yeah, I think
Probably
we're going
we'll
to
find some good
shelter.
information.
Yeah.
So as you stride in and you're sort of having this conversation, looking to your left and the right, little boy strolls over to you and he goes, "Hi, hi there, guys. Do you want to buy some gloves?" And he sort of waves these gloves, definitely adult gloves.
And where exactly did you get these gloves from?
"Oh, I'm a glove seller. Yeah, I've been doing it for many years." He's about 8.
Ah, gnome, a fellow gnome.
No, I'm human. I just mature very fast. Do you want to buy these gloves anyway? Or information? I can sell you information.
Information or
I don't think
gloves?
the gloves will fit me.
They're really good gloves. He sort of looks at them. I think they're made of, I don't know, glove stuff.
Oh. You wouldn't happen to know if there's a mine or where I might find some of the miners who work in this town?
Sure, yeah. If you give me maybe a silver piece, I'll tell you all you want.
Silver piece. How about silver piece and I get the gloves?
Yeah, sure thing. So just while you say that, just give me a
That's
quick
swear by an 8-year-old.
give me a quick perception roll as you sort of glance around the street. Just give me a quick perception roll, yeah. I'll just say, Graham, you do it.
All right.
Because he's more perceptive than me now.
Ooh. So I rolled a 17.
Wow. Okay. So a little further down the street is a rather large half-orc man dressed in these like very dark furs. And there's one thing that's very clear is he's missing his gloves and he's like glancing around looking really angry. And the boy has obviously noticed. He's going, "So yeah, so silver piece then, information in the gloves, they're yours."
Yeah, no, I go ahead and I take the deal.
So there's a few gemstone mines have closed down due to I don't really know actually, but there's some miners over in the East Side Inn. You can stay there as well if you want. He
The
sort
East
of
Side
thrusts
Inn?
the
Oh.
gloves. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
over
no.
there, and he sort of points down the.
So I
down
put the
this
gloves
road.
in my coat. I'm already wearing gloves. I don't even know what this was just.
And the boy like sort of
Worth it.
flicks the coin and then drops it because he's wearing gloves as well. And I guess it's probably hard to flick a coin on your thumb when you're wearing gloves. Picks up the coin and then just goes, "Thanks very much, guys. See you later." And he just runs off in the opposite direction.
Their classic Joe voice goes off into this.
I've got plenty of voices tonight. Some really, really bad ones. Just wait
I
till
can't
the
wait.
Okay, I mean, you can see where he's pointing at. The East Side Inn doesn't look like it's been purpose-built as an inn. It looks more like a number of houses that were next to each other have just had maybe the walls knocked down, and there is a sign outside saying the East Side.
So, obviously, I'm assuming Gann and Xalfiz heard this conversation.
Yeah.
So, shall we?
Yes, I believe it's Gann's round again. I mean, Gann's round.
Oh yeah.
What?
And while we're headed in that direction, I bump into the half orc and I've slipped his gloves back into his pocket.
Oh no. That is going to take.
work out.
I'm not going to tempt fate with a sleight of hand roll. I'm just going to love it. Absolutely, let's do it.
No,
So
you can try.
No. We've got 2 hours. We've got a story to get on with.
Okay.
The door opens the East Side Inn, and you are met with a glorious warmth, wonderful smell of, seems to be baking fish, and it may be goat's cheese. I mean, it's something really, really wholesome. There's quite a bustle in here as well. There's quite a few people, presumably locals. And you enter. It's lit with a number of lanterns. You presume some sort of oil. Whale oil is common in the town that you come from, so maybe that. And you're met by, well, at first, no one. It looks really, really busy. And then you hear a small voice from down below. And
kid.
She goes, "All right there. Are you looking for a table? What can I do for you fellas?" And it's a small halfling woman.
Hello. So me and my companions are looking to perhaps get a drink and just settle in a little bit. Do you have a table for 3?
Officially, we're a dry town. We don't, with all the darkness and the depression and stuff, we kind of don't really approve of alcohol making things worse. As you could imagine, a lot of people fight more when they're a bit drunk, and if they're already kind of depressed with the dark and stuff, probably not a good idea. But sure. How about I get you a booth over here? And she points to a window seat, looks out across the road, and I'll get you a menu. We've got some lovely stuff in today. In fact, we had a druid pop round last night and he left a couple of beautiful good berries. We even have some real veg if you fancy it. I have got, believe it or not, got apples. But you haven't had an apple in 2 years, have you?
Well, I have, but that's a long story. Yeah, we'll take the seat, yeah.
I mean,
Ooh,
is
fancy
calling
pants.
an inn not a bad idea in a dry town? Why not like a B&B? Just a thought for your business model in the future.
I'll bear it in mind. All right, then. You go grab your seat over there, and I'll bring you over some food.
We'll have one of those alcoholic apples, please. Yes.
Okay. So she actually brings over there's not so much a menu, just an offering of various types of fish. There's like a spiced fish stew. There's roast fish with potatoes and this kind of like white sauce, which, as you all spotted, was this goat's milk thing. And she does bring over a few apples. She also does whisper and go, "If you do want a drink, I can bring you over a little bit. We've got ale and we've got some fire whiskey from the Battlehammer Dwarves." She gives you a wink.
Ooh, I think I'll have a bit of that fire whiskey.
Me too.
I also like the dwarf's drink.
Aye.
So she does bring over these drinks, and then she says, "Am I right in saying, I mean, you do kind of stand out as a crowd. Am I right in saying you're the heroes that killed the undead over in Dugan's Hole?"
Yes, that is us. Definitely. And I'm like, and this man here, and I put my hand on Gann, and I'm like, essentially, single-handedly, this man, very brave.
Well, bless my soul. We've heard all about it. There was a towering undead giant, am I right, came and destroyed the speaker's house. And she sort of starts waving to the crowd. "These are the adventurers from Dugan's Hole. You wouldn't believe it. We heard about it last night. Oh, well, the beer, I mean, she looks a bit nervously, the water is on the house." And she sort of scuttles us off. But 2 people have started taking notice of you. 2, I guess they could be minors, have when she said adventurers and heroes, they started paying attention. So Devon and Jakub, welcome to the show. Let's start off with Devon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of
Tell us a bit about your character.
I'm Jarl Stoneflame. I'm a pretty well-known cleric upon these parts from Mithril Hall, but I kept seeing visions of the snowflake, and so I followed Meydn to this 10 towns. I know I belong here. I think that's about it. I'm from Mithril Hall. I forget. I already forgot what I said.
Okay, and our second minor, Jakub, welcome to the show.
Hello. Well, my name's Jessica Tandaghi, and well, I grew up in Tourmaline. My father was a miner, my grandfather was a miner, my grandfather's grandfather was a miner, and well enough, I became a miner in this fair town.
Wow.
Oh, and we're all half-orcs, oddly enough. Genetics.
Amazing.
I get science.
So a dwarven cleric and a burly half orc stroll over to your table.
Now listen, here, and I pull out 3 other little glasses, and I start to unscrew a flask. The stuff that the battle hammers provide, it's not meant for dwarves. It's meant for humans, so it's a little weak. But I got a little holy water right here, and I pour everyone a shot. This is thanks for joining us in our town. We're very pleased to have heroes of such renown join us. My name is Jarl, and this year,
My name's Jessica. We sure are honored to have you in our town.
may we join you?
Y'all, Jessica, very nice to meet you. I am Graham. This large fellow here is Gann.
Hello.
And
It doesn't look gone. Looks right here.
Ever consider that?
God just folds his arms. He's like, he's been dealing with Xalfiz this whole time, so he's heard those jokes time and time out.
Xalfiz, meanwhile, is breaking himself laughing. I'm Xalfiz. Very, very good. Very good. I see what you did.
So, you mind if I ask, what brings you to our little piece of paradise here in the frozen far?
Before you answer, you notice that both of them are looking extremely tired. They have large bags under their eyes, and although everyone's, I guess, pale in Icewind Dale, they look like they've been sleepless.
Mind if I saddle up next to you? I might be a bit tired.
John tries to shuffle on the bench, but there's not much space because he takes up almost the whole booth at the table by himself.
So to be clear with you, I've been having these horrific nightmares, and I feel like I need to address it. So me and my friends here are looking for the source of the nightmares.
At this point, I speak Dwarvish to you. Now I get rid. Which essentially was just me saying, by Meydn's blessing, you've come to the right place, brother.
Aye, by Meydn's blessing. Excellent. And as I'm speaking fluent Dwarvish here.
Me and my companion here, Jesko, we've actually been having some problems, and I believe your presence here is maybe fate.
Perhaps it is. Aye.
Can you tell us of these dreams you've been having? Jarl.
We've been having these terrible dreams. It's very hard to get into. Essentially, we haven't had good rest in the past couple nights. Almost like we're freezing to death. Unable to climb up high enough. Jessica?
Well, imagine you're at the bottom of a hole, and imagine the hole is being filled up. Well, you're inside of it, and you die.
While this is being
It's not a
described,
great
I'm
dream.
you can see my eyes just kind of like glaze over a bit. I'm like,
Recognition.
so you've had the exact same dream then? Well, nightmare more like.
Well, sure seems like it. Jessica's eyes are twitching, trying to stay open.
Do you know when this started?
Here's the thing. About 10 days ago, we found a new natural cavern in one of the depths. That's the deepest part of the mines.
We're miners. You can tell by our
Yeah, we
bandanas.
can see we have the bandana. That's why.
That's how you know.
You look like adults to me.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
All right, let's have.
I like this one.
Let's have a little more holy water.
Gone just like slams
Need that holy water? Thank you.
Now, there was some unusual geodes, and crystals, and gemstones down in this mine, and ever since we found it, we've just been having these real bad dreams.
Has anyone continued going to the mine?
We've actually closed it. I should be completely honest with you. Several of the folks who have gone down there with us when we exposed that mine and that cabin, They're no longer with us.
They're dead.
Yes.
What happened?
Not sure. They have been murdered, is my inkling. All over the past couple days.
Are you sure that they're dead? Or they've simply gone missing?
I have seen their bodies.
Well-
I am a cleric. I would be sure that something is dead, and even more sure if it was undead.
How were they killed?
We're not exactly incredibly sure.
Oh my god, there's been another murder.
The thing is, we think we're being followed.
We know we're being followed, but we just can't put our finger on it.
We can't, but we also know that we hear these strange sounds in the night. We haven't gotten good rest in a number of days.
And as they're saying this, can I just sort of shoot a glance over around the inn and see if I can see if anyone's paying attention to our table specifically? Or
If I could also do that.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So you start sort of glancing around. Like there are a number of people there. Again, there's a group of fishermen. There's maybe a couple of guards as well. But do you both want to give me a perception roll each, and we'll see if you spot anything else.
Kuran, if you want to roll first.
16?
I rolled a 1.
A man of extremes.
Gone. Every perception check he gets a 1 on. It's I think the second or third time you've done a 1 on perception.
You know when you're like, don't look now, and Gann just like.
So is it you rolled a 1, not a modified 1? Okay, so you. So first of all, Graham, you're looking around, and you suddenly realise you are being watched. The innkeeper, the halfling, is kind of basically she's going around and pointing you out to all the people in the inn, as if like you sort of hear her going, "That's them. You reckon they're the people that killed the undead down in Dugan's Hole? Proper heroes, proper heroes. He can help us out here, I'm sure." And Gann, you kind of looking around, don't see anything, and then you glance to the side where the window is, and you see something is staring in. Your heart sort of jumps for a moment because it appears to be a grinning skull, completely white. And with your 1, you jump back, and the whole table goes flying with it, knocking over all the drinks, all the food. There's this huge crash. As you basically just stood up, cracked your head on the ceiling where there's this like whale oil lantern spilling oil all over. For a moment, it looks like there's actually going to be a fire, but you kind of reach up and steady it. And you look down, and the face or the skull has gone from the window, but scratched into the window pane in the ice are the words, "You're next."
Guys, look at this.
What?
Whoa. What?
Oh.
God. In fact, I'm going to need to have my initial reaction to the table being tossed.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh my lord, you've got it knocked over the tables.
Gann's like, sorry. I'll clean it up.
My
I'll
God,
clean it
what are you doing? Hey, and I'm like having a little Scottish fit, sort of Dwarvish fit, and then I'm like, yeah, what is it?
There was this skull outside. Look at the window. Is this for us or? And I look over at Jarl and Jessica.
Yeah.
Do we all see the scratch, or is it just
I'll look at the window.
Eoghan that does?
Yeah, so you all look over and you can see it there. It's a shaky hand, like it's not easy to read. But yeah, it looks like it's been maybe scratched with a nail or the point of a dagger rather than a finger, because it's really sort of sharp writing.
I have my little trinket of Moradin in my hands.
I saw a skull, but have you heard anything about a person with the skull face going around?
I mean, the most trouble we have seen in maybe the past several moons is just giant rats and some kobolds. We haven't had any kind of problems with no skulls. Oh, Moradin, go his toes, I swear.
Well, I guess we're gonna die, so it was cool. This is cool.
It could have been a message for anyone of the fine folks in this place. Maybe it's someone else who's next. Maybe it's a case of...
But you gotta put 2 and 2 together. Our friends are dying off one by one. We explore a strange cave, and now we feel we're being watched. And you think that scratch mark there might have something to do with someone else?
They definitely want to kill us.
Okay,
I'm
so
just saying.
fine.
Listen.
That's a fair, scientific
wait,
reason.
wait.
We need heroes. All right?
Everyone.
I got 100 gold here. All right?
Yes,
If you help us, it's yours. But
absolutely. And while this is happening, I'm like, I take his hand while that's holding the coin purse, and I hold it tightly. I'm like, we will do everything that is required to
Get this money. I mean, complete your mission.
to complete this mission.
Well, it's a little forward of y'all to take the money before we do the mission. I'm just saying.
you know, I mean, we will hold on to this.
For right now, why don't we just do a gentleman's handshake and then we'll
This is ours
Absolutely.
for now.
listen. We're minors. It's not a great pay. It's an okay pay,
Yeah.
but come on.
Yeah, yes. Well, so just as an initial question, how many of you of the initial party of miners have gone missing? Let's say.
Well, there was originally 7 of us, but
Mm-hmm. Well, 3 are dead,
3.
and then 2 are us, and then
One's missing.
1 is missing to answer your question.
Okay. And what is his name or her name?
Listen, Yodel, Gary Belly.
Okay.
I think it was.
They've gone. We're pretty sure they've gone into hiding somewhere, or
Ah,
they're dead as well.
So hold
No
on,
body's been found. We haven't heard.
You opened up this mine, you found some really nice gems. You probably brought some of them up, and then someone started killing all the other people before you got the rest of the gems, right?
I mean, there's still plenty of gems down there.
It's a mine.
But did you
I
bring
know. I
gems up?
understand. I understand how mines work. Is it
I
not just?
don't think you do,
Mm,
because usually you could bring up all the gems, and you don't. Normally, when you mine, you don't get murdered by something that's in the mine.
mhm.
You know,
Usually.
yeah, that's why we need
Oh.
some proper
Hero.
There's
like
something.
yourselves.
There's something now in the mine. I mean, is it not a case of just the missing guy has killed 3 of his friends, and then 2 of his other dumb friends are going to get killed?
We
Well, I
thought so,
mean-
but one was murdered in his bed. You know, another one was.
You're familiar with the bed, right?
Yeah, that's where you read. See, now here's the thing: we haven't
Is
gotten
it
much
still-
rest because every time we do, we get these terrible nightmares.
And I don't like them.
I don't.
You'll
I
have
like a
to-
good night's rest. All right.
absolutely. You'll have to forgive my friend Xalfiz. He's got murder on the mind. We did just chase down a murderer.
We also
Oh.
have murder on the mind
Yeah.
because of all the murder.
But
of our-
fear
How-
of being murdered.
Hold on, hold on.
Exactly.
How were your friends murdered?
Well, one was murdered by gathering wood. Another was murdered while he was relieving himself.
He was on the toilet.
I
To
mean,
be correct.
Clarification. Good
I didn't ask
clarification.
where were they murdered. I asked how. Were they stabbed? Were they
Mm,
cursed? What happened to them?
Like, was there
I mean-
pickaxes in their head? Because that would help us a lot with miners being everywhere.
I mean, here's the thing: as a cleric, I'm not entirely sure. We can go to the temple. I could show you these bodies, but there's one other that's missing, and we don't have his body. He was he's still in the mine, we think.
Why
Go on.
what? Did you left him there, or he went down? Again?
Well, not willingly. I mean, like, when you're threatened with death and, like, one person is definitely maybe going to die, you kind of try to save yourself. So that's kind of how that went down.
I'm very I do,
Yeah.
when you put it like that, I feel very bad about it.
Wait, you murdered a guy in a mine? Because you're leaving a lot of blanks here. This guy went to a mine. He never came back. And then, when faced with death, you protect
Well-
yourself. Are you telling me you murdered a guy?
No, we didn't murder him, more so that we left him to possibly be dead to save ourselves.
Listen, do you want the job or not?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. We want the job.
Yeah.
And I look at
Maybe-
Xalfiz
maybe-
going, Ixnay on the murder snare.
Maybe. Listen, if you want, maybe Jessica could take a couple of you to check out the mine. I could show you to the other bodies. I could take you to the temple. We can cover more ground if we split up.
Sounds like a splendid idea. Yes, I guess should we go to the mine?
Yeah, well, I would love to go to the mine. Man.
I do think neither of us really want to go, but yeah, it would be good to see.
Well, I mean, if you would love to get paid, I think going to the mine is a part of that.
So, Gann, would you like a lovely tour of the very fantastic and shiny mine, or the boring temple? Where would you like to go?
I would like to go investigate the bodies of those who've died.
Oh, okay, I am
Oh,
excited.
so the
to
Bourne
see
Temple.
this. Yeah, I'm excited to go down the mine with you, Jessica. Yay! With all the dead bodies and danger.
Xalfiz, you're the smartest out of us. You'll probably be able to figure out what's happening.
Xalfiz perks up. Maybe I will. I am the brains.
Okay, so I guess you pay the barkeep and head out into the street. And so just let me get this right. So Jeska and Xalfiz, you are heading to the mine, and the other three you are heading. Oh, sorry, Graham, you're going to the mine as well.
Yes.
And Jarl and Gann, you're going to the temple.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll start off with you two. The temple's not too far. Again, Tourmaline is a big town for 10 towns, but I mean anywhere else in the realms it would be seen as pretty small, and it's only a few streets away. As you're making your way down the main street, which is where you are, you're approached by a large half-orc, and he goes, "Oh, you two, you're not seeing a little kid, have you? He's nabbed me gloves."
What? We don't have time to be discussing gloves. There is murder afoot. My
He
good
looks a
mate.
bit taken back. He goes, "Well, fair enough, I'm sure off." And then he reaches into his pocket and goes, "Oh, they're in my pocket all along." Oh.
Gann just laughs to himself. He kind of
Strolls off. So you make your way to the Temple of Lathander. It's slightly outside the town, or not massively, down a long winding pathway. The pathway is paved and, interestingly, is always free from snow. It's never iced up, never a snowflake lands on it. It's not like it lands and it melts, just always free of snow. It's just one of those things. You wind your way through the pathway until you reach the large triangular-shaped house at the end, or building at the end. Outside is Lathander's ever-burning flame, another miracle of the temple. But as you turn the last sort of corner of this winding path, you see the flame, or the torch, this huge stone torch that it's based in, has been knocked over, and the flame has gone out. The whole temple is in complete darkness, and the two wooden doors are wide open, and you can see that snow is beginning to settle on the threshold.
Does it normally look like this?
This is a bad sign. All right, I would maybe arm yourself.
Yeah,
I
Gann.
pull out my weapon, which is there it is. Yes, my mace. My warhammer. That's what it is.
Gann's
So I
looking
haven't
at
got
you
a lot
as
of
you
sleep
say all
lately.
this out loud.
Oh, am I saying things out loud again? Sorry.
Gann arms himself with his shield and his club.
Okay. Who would like to go first?
I would actually like to cast Thaumaturgy. As I come, like, now, if there may evil be in here, show yourself so you may meet my hammer's wrath. As they kind of shake through the room.
The snow shivers on the roof and just flops down in this huge sheet and crashes into the floor on either side of this enormous building. For a moment, there's this kind of echo of your voice, again and again and again through the building, and then silence.
All right, it looks safe. Let's go.
I'll let you lead the way. You're more familiar with the building.
I'll pop right in, and I'll break out I'll set down my hammer and try to move the brazier back up and try to light it with flint and steel.
I'll help him with that, yeah.
Okay, with your combined strength, that's no problem at all. It's much lighter than it looks. It's not made of granite, although it looks like stone. It's some other material, and it feels warm to the touch. But there's nothing in there to light. There's no fuel. It's just an empty dish, and you kind of strike sparks against it, and nothing happens.
Can I cast bonfire in it?
You can cast bonfire on it if you wish, yeah.
Does it go out after a minute, or does it just
It will go
stay
out
burning?
after a minute,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
you hear from inside what sounds like some sort of pottery falling and crashing, or maybe glass.
What was that?
I don't think we're alone here. Yeah, and I'll get out a torch from my bag and light it on the bonfire you've created.
I will do the same.
Hold it with one hand and my warhammer in the other.
I put my shield on my back, so I still have my club out, and I have a torch in the other hand.
Who's there? Show yourself!
So you enter the temple. There are a number of pews heading down on each side. And at the back is the enormous stained glass window of the shining path leading to the rising sun. The stained glass window is smashed, and the sound you heard was a piece falling out of the window pane and collapsing onto the ground. You look down and you see that there are footprints on the ground, on the stone. Small footprints, probably child-sized, although they are shoed, and they are bloody footprints. Let us switch the camera over to Graham, Xalfiz, and Jeska as you stroll through the town in the direction of the mine. As you make your way, because the mine is actually quite a bit further away out of town, obviously. As you make your way to the outskirts, I'd like you all, in fact, Jeska, would you make me a perception roll?
Yeah.
In fact, actually, could you all make me a perception roll?
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Do I need to know?
I got a 14.
Okay, a 14.
I
is
got an
good enough.
18.
Okay, so Jeska, so first of all, you're kind of glancing around and you're sort of chatting to the other two, and you notice on a side street walking parallel to you is a familiar figure. So out of all the miners that have kind of gone missing, there are 3 that have died. There's you and Jarl. There's the Dale Nimbletoes, the one that's missing in the mine. But there is also Udril Greybelly. Now he is missing. He is in hiding somewhere around the town, and walking very hurriedly on the side street is his brother. And you two, when this is sort of pointed out to you with your incredibly high rolls, you notice that not only is he looking around like really suspiciously, like he's glancing left to right and he's walking very fast, he has over his shoulder a large bag. His name is Dwarf Greybelly, by the way. Dwarf.
Can we tell what direction he's headed? And he's just adjacent, like he's going parallel to us.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Jessica, do you know where that leads? Which way he's going? Is that where?
I mean, we should just follow him, and then I want to talk to him nonetheless, no matter where he's going.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do it very quietly.
Going to use my inside voice. No.
Do we know if he is like dangerous? Would he be a man to rob a bag full of gems, perhaps?
Well,
Or
I mean,
a
I've
body bag?
never trusted a man with a bag that big, but and I'm not going to start today. So I would like to follow him stealthily.
Yeah. We'll try and shadow his movements, I guess.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll do a group stealth roll. So the way that works is you all roll for stealth, and you basically need more passes than fails.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
So I will very quickly roll for his perception. Let's see how he does, and that's what you've got to kind of beat. Okay, so he got a tasty 4.
I got 14 modified.
Okay.
And I got a 19 modified. Oh, sorry. That came up weird.
Oh,
sorry. I rolled over Jakub. Sorry, Jakub. You go first
No.
there.
Oh, my bad. I got an 18 modified.
Okay, so
And I got
with
an
2
8.
passes,
Yeah, I got an 8
Yeah.
modified.
no problem at all. So
As
he is
I'm like,
looking
Jessica,
over his
Jessica,
shoulder.
where'd you go?
You've never seen a half-orc move so stealthily. This is home turf.
We were talking, and now you're just gone. I'm like, what the?
Eyes
Buried in the
snow.
snow.
lying down, yeah.
Two eyes appear from a snow mound. Two tiptoes just like following him behind.
So, you have no problem trailing him. And actually, you're kind of like going down a parallel street. And so you may be kind of just sort of watch him, stay a little bit far behind. And he's making his way to the end of the town where most of the miners have their houses. Now, you know him reasonably well, Jessica, because obviously you know his brother. His brother was part of your mining team. But he's not a miner. He's actually a fisherman, and he lives at a whole other part of town. And he heads into his brother's house. So as I said, the missing miner is Yodril Greybelly, and Dorf is heading into Yodril's house. And he sort of goes in. He's obviously got the key, and he closes it behind him. This is a small 2-story house. There'll just be one room downstairs and one room upstairs.
Hey, so this is where my friend Yodril lives, but he has been missing, so
Yes,
that's pretty strange.
that is pretty strange. Do you think we should just go knock on the door?
You know what? He doesn't know y'all two, so I could hide on the side, and then you two can be new people that he has to talk to. And if things turn south, or if I just get mad, I will pop out and make a scene.
I mean,
That sounds like a solid plan.
we could be salesmen. I could sell him a collapsing pole, perhaps. At this point, Joe, I can point out that I have the ability to infuse an item with a magical property, and one of the infusions I took was collapsing pole.
Oh, nice! I love your class so much. Like, it's so good, and that level 2 is a really cool thing. So a collapsing pole. Does it do anything other than collapse, or is it?
No, so it's a regular collapsing pole. So for infusing an item, you can basically take every regular day item, infuse it to become this other item. So I have that and bag of holding. But I'm going to take an arrow from my crossbow and infuse that and put. Yeah, you'll get the Billy Mays sales pitch about how good that is and clever with the pointy end.
So while you infuse the arrow and make it collapsible, or whatever you're doing with your cool magic, and sort of approach the door, we're going to switch the camera back to Gann and Jarl, and you're looking down at these bloody footprints. The bloody footprints are actually heading out the way you've came, and then you look all over, and you see they are all over the place. These footprints are everywhere.
Listen, I know we're looking for these bodies, but I think our priorities just changed.
And I think if we look around, we'll probably find more bodies by the looks of it.
Should we follow these footprints? They look like they're heading back out. I know blood is pretty obvious in the snow, and there's a fresh fall out there, so we might be able to track whatever came in here.
That sounds good to me.
No, hold on.
Well,
Okay, I have my gloves.
So you going back out the way you came?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Do we see the footprints going back out?
So they go out and then they kind of hit the threshold where you've come, and they just disappear because the path that leads down here is enchanted and snow doesn't hit it. Nothing.
Can I try something? Let me just. Where is that now that I'm looking for? I want to. I look over at Jarl and like, I might be able to find what we're looking for, and I want to use beast shape and turn into a direwolf. And I want to use
what color direwolf?
Very, very light gray, similar to like just the general color of Gann, but not exactly blue. Well, actually, you know what? Light blue.
Oh, Morden's teeth! Oh, look at that! You turned yourself into a pup. I love this. Oh, yeah. I know this is probably not appropriate, but I just try to scratch him behind the ear.
It's like, whenever like you're scratching a dog and they like it, starts pushing his head into it.
Okay, wait, so back to what we were doing. All right.
I want to sniff the bloody footprints, and then do a perception roll to see if I know what direction they're gone in through smell.
I love that idea, and the way I want to do it with your direwolf form, because wolves have got exceptional senses of smell. In fact, their smell is almost more powerful than their sight. I want you to imagine that suddenly, as you turn into this form, the entire room fills with clouds. Now, the these clouds represent all the different scents, and you can literally see them. Like you can see these red clouds, these footprints that are hovering on the ground, and there's these clouds all around going in and out, very low to the ground, probably only about 3 foot high, in and out of the benches. There's a big, over by the back door of or the door leading out the back, there's a huge cloud as if a whole load of these creatures gathered, and the scent of them leads out the other way. You also sense this incredible smell of blood, not just from the footprints, but whatever this is beyond this door at the back, there is an enormous amount of blood. And there's also something else, a yellow scent that you've not come across before. Something very clean, something... It just looking at it makes you feel very good about yourself. But also, looking out the door, you can absolutely see the direction these scents went into.
This is a video game view.
Yeah, it's like The Witcher.
Yeah, you just hit
like
the you just hit the center button. Now you get the,
or like Twilight Princess when you're like Link when he's a wolf. I'm gonna like the wolf turns and kind of growls towards the back of the church, but then kind of turns around and like indicates that we should move towards the path the scent that I can see going away from the church, the bloody footprints, basically.
lead the way.
And I'll start following. Do I need to make any rolls, or is it just I can see and I follow?
So you can absolutely, you don't need to make rolls at first. So you kind of go your way out, and these scent clouds. Stop hitting that. It's a weird place. These scent clouds basically split into 2, then into 4, then into 8, and then into at least 12 different creatures, all with this blood red scent splitting off in all directions.
All right, and
I stop you right there, and I put my hand on your pelts, and I say, by Morden's hand, guard this creature, and I cast guidance.
All right, guidance is what, a plus D4 on my checks? I'd like to do a perception, I guess, to find out if I can keep tracking the...
Let's do it, and let's do it with that plus D4.
I also get an advantage on perception checks, because a wolf gets an advantage on them.
Nice.
So that's plus 3. That's a 14 modified, and let me roll again. And a 14 modified plus D4. 18 modified.
Wow.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Okay, so you, despite the fact the wind is blowing these scents around, you're sure that you can track it, at least for a short while. And you begin to head down sort of to the left, and then you notice that you don't need to track it, because heading from the back of the temple are 3 very, very clear trails. It's as if 3 very large things have been dragged through the snow, leaving very, very messy trails of blood.
I know you can't speak, but why wag your tail if you're thinking what I'm thinking? 3 drag marks, 3 bodies.
I wag my tail, but I also nod my head. Because
that also works. Sorry, I don't really have conversations with many dogs. Okay.
Paw to the face as he's talking to him.
Just in the snow. Just like...
I'll start walking towards and see if Gerald follows me.
Okay,
I follow.
So are you
But
going
it's
to
like
follow
I got stumpy
the trail,
legs.
the blood trails?
Yes, I would like to do, like, as I'm following along, I would like to stealth. I don't want to, like...
Okay,
just
well, let's
be
hold on
walking
to
along.
that. Let's flick the camera back to where I believe Xalfiz is about to do his sales pitch.
Yeah.
But before we go up, so, Graham, look, I have an idea. Just come with me. You are my sales assistant. You're a clever
Absolutely.
fellow with some fast words. If you see I'm in trouble, maybe help out. So-
Yes.
Stroll up. Lady Penguin kind of just back beside me, off to the side. Knock on the door. And wait for someone to see if they answer.
Okay. At first, no one answers, but inside you can hear like a shuffling footfall and then silence.
Knocks again. Hello, we've got a great opportunity for you here, sir. We saw you go to your house. You can't miss out on this opportunity. We have some local representatives selling some fantastic products in the area. We just want a second of your time.
The door.
I worked
door.
door-to-door sales for a while, guys.
I can tell.
I saw you go in your house. Is that what you did in your door-to-door sales?
That part was
I know
very
you're
weird.
in there.
There's a funny story of you getting chased off someone's property, because, but that's another time. We'll say that for extra content.
So the door flings open, and you are greeted with the red-faced, one-eyed, grey-bearded, fur-dressed dwarf. What do you want?
Hello, sir. Have I got a great deal for you? My name is Xalfiz of the Xalfiz Collapsing Pole Company. Can you give me 2 seconds of your time, please? Demonstrate this fantastic product, which could aid you in your current situation.
I can answer that right now. No. And he slams the door in your face.
Well, then I knock on the door, and I'm like, and in Dwarvish, I'm like, please, sir, I'm telling you, it's well worth your time. This is a really good deal. I promise you.
He opens the door again and goes, what do you want?
We're looking simply to sell you some things. Xalfiz, get in with the pitch.
Yeah, no. So we have this collapsible pole. It looks like a regular arrow. You can just keep it in your little quiver as you travel around hunting, and then all of a sudden you just hit this button on the side of it, and so the arrow, he's holding it kind of pointing towards the door, but not at the dwarf, off to the side of it as a jar. And he presses a button and it extends into a 10-foot pole into the room and goes, sorry, it extends into a 10-foot pole, but ideal for, reaching hard to reach places, or maybe, as I see you're missing an eye there, like a guiding stick to knock out in front of you. But sorry, and then you press this button again and it just retracts. And as he presses the button, I'm not going to hold onto the end of it. So it's going to retract and it meets in the middle. So it ends up in his house, and I'm using it basically as an excuse to try and get in there. And you press this button. Oh, sorry. Look, it's a prototype model. It's very good, but I'm going to need to retrieve that and try and walk past them and see what happens.
I think some sort of role. Do you have a sort of a persuade or a sort of social role you'd like to use?
Yes, I'm sure I do. I just assumed it was going to work the first time without needing a roll.
Regardless of the outcome, I was persuaded. Wants to buy.
Yes, comes out of the snow. I will take one. I want one. I want that.
you hear from the snow pile, just like,
You can listen to our very positive reviews. I may have rolled a 4+1 for persuade.
You seem to have dropped your little pole here. Unfortunately, I'm not interested. In fact, this isn't even my house. I'm just here doing... He looks around. Never mind. And he goes, he sort of turns around and goes to get the arrow that you've left in his room.
Yeah, well, I go to try to pick it up, but I pretend to stumble and I fall. Oh dear! Whoa. And I fall into the house. I'm like, oh, so sorry. No, and I'm just taking a look around. I'm trying to get back to my feet.
Okay, so when you kind of enter the room, it's completely very, very cold. There's a fireplace to one side, and no one in 10 towns lets their fireplace go out. Even when they're out the house, they keep it going, because once a house gets cold, it's really, really difficult to warm up. Completely cold. He's got this bag. He's opened it up, and he's it's like a cloth across the floor, and on it are piled different supplies. You see, there's a whole bunch of dried rations, like food. There's a cask of what you guess is probably oil. And then there's some wood, and there's some other basically supplies. And then at the other end of the thing is a whole load of weapons.
Does the house feel cold?
Yes, freezing.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what to make of any of that. I'm like, that, and I'm saying this in Dwarvish, that is a lot of weapons.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of things I need to kill. Now get out of my house, he's your goddamn...
Wait, hold on here, look. Clearly, you've got something you need to kill. Perhaps you could use help. Maybe I could be of service. Just trying to give him the old smile there.
Door-to-door killers.
Door-to-door.
You don't want this thing? Well, we could kill people for you.
Trying to make a buck.
I will let you roll, so you can give me a persuade roll if you want, but you are going to be rolling at disadvantage because he clearly just wants you out of his house.
Look, oh yeah, I'm going to kind of nod discreetly to Graham. Look, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your time, and I can tell you're very interested in our product. But because you're not the owner of this property, we've actually broken several bylaws by even trying to sell you something. If your landlord comes back and he wants, you can let him know that we're in the area selling products. We'll just be taking that little pole and heading on your way. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Yeah. I start walking backwards very slowly. I'm like, yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I'm closing the door, and then.
So what did you roll?
I didn't roll. I just walked out.
Okay.
I was like, this
The
is a bad
disadvantage.
idea.
I said no. Please.
Okay, so he basically, the door closes and you're out in the snow again.
Graham, my good man, weren't I distracted him with the pole? I thought a man of your renown, you've told me several stories over the last couple of days of your exploits of infiltrating houses. Maybe that's the way you should have went with your particular set of skills.
Absolutely, I can actually get on that right now. So I'm gonna. I'll look at the house to see if there's a way in.
Right. So while you
the
two are
door.
kind of like trying to kind of case the house for a BA. Yeska, I guess you're kind of crouched around the side, sort of out the way. Sort of, all the houses in 10 Towns are on stilts because if they heat up, then they melt the permafrost underneath, which obviously isn't going to make the best foundation. So you're kind of ducked down, and you see out the back that this dwarf has basically done a runner, and he's climbed down the back steps, and he is disappearing off in the direction of Mare Duldon, the lake.
I'm gonna rush him.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to
Snowman
I'm going to scream,
explodes.
enter rage, and then tackle him.
Amazing. Okay. As you do that, let's switch the camera over to Jarl and Gann, who are following this blood trail. Now, Jarl, you never saw the bodies. However, you do know that they weren't so badly damaged that they would be leaving a blood trail. And it doesn't seem right. In fact, this looks very, very fresh, this blood trail. And obviously, I mean, one of the bodies was just yesterday, and so I guess they could be blood, but this much?
Listen, I should have told you all and been straight with you from the beginning, but there was something in that mine. This is all our fault. See, here's the thing, and this is as we're walking. I'm just kind of like shedding all the things I haven't said. So we decided after these bad dreams happened, we should just collapse the mine, collapse the entrance. So we all drew straws.
So it'd be the entrance to the cave that you found, not the mine itself.
Correct. Yeah. The cavern that was exposed in the deepest part of this mine. We thought, listen, let's just collapse that section of it and just be done with it. Maybe these dreams will go away. So we are sitting there and we are like, okay, we'll draw straws. That'll solve it. And so then we draw them, and of course, Dale draws the smallest. And so we're standing there watching him go to do it. He's gonna knock out the support beams, and then we see something. It's got a tentacle, and it just snatches him, and we run. And we just left him there. And I don't know. It's just now the blood everywhere. I can't help. We have to solve this. I don't know. Maybe my sleep is because of my guilt. I haven't felt this kind of shivers through my back since we saw that comet land. I don't know. Thanks for listening.
Talking. Oh yeah, the dire wolf the entire time. Right.
Subscribe. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to my podcast.
It starts like Just tired of listening. Continues on.
The
Exposition,
trail,
exposition.
the trail has led you back to the gemstone mine, somewhere you've not been for almost a 10-day. The mine itself is in a depression. There's almost like a large quarry around it. The trail kind of ends a bit before there, but it's quite clear that's where you're going. And you get to the mine entrance, or at least you get to the top of this kind of quarry, looking down over the lip at the mine entrance. And you see that it is blocked. It looks like someone has piled a whole load of like small rocks and boulders, nothing huge. And then there's like sticks and twigs, and it looks like some sort of stolen furs and things have been piled, partially blocking the door. And a sign is hanging on in front of it, although you're too far away to read it.
So we've definitely closed up everything since the murders, but I also have to say I haven't felt Morden's hand guiding me ever since I ran. But I feel a bit of his warmth coming back to me as I return to these mines.
Can I do just like perception to see if I can hear or see anything? Is anyone around, or does the trail just go into the mine?
The trail sort of died off a bit back, but as a wolf, you can still scent it, so you can see this trail or multiple trails going into the mine. Yeah.
Okay. Could I kind of look back at Jarl, kind of. I hunker down and I start stealthing towards the entrance of the mine. And see it. Then I stop, a few steps forward to see if he's following, and if he's not, I'll go back to him. He is following. Cool.
Yeah, I go real quick, and I just kind of trace a Morden sigil in the snow, and I kind of look reserved as I move forward to follow you.
And move forward, stealthing into the mine to see if we see anything just in the entrance or how far it goes.
So to get into the mine, when you get a bit closer, you can see that you'd have to clamber over this, I guess, barricade. And the sign on the front, written in strangely neat handwriting, is the words, "Perish, ye who all enter here." And then below that, it says, "Murderers beware."
Well, that wasn't here before. But you know what? This is no time for letting fear guide us. And I just rip it down.
Right, showed them.
And
Yeah.
I like growl at it as he does it, and then move on into the mine.
Okay, so you clamber over, and immediately it's completely different. Like from being outside, where the roaring of the wind is just this constant background noise, and suddenly it's silence, apart from the kind of like drip, drip of the, I guess, melting water. And there is a sort of stream heading down the middle, and you can see where the rails are, where the sort of mine carts were pushed back and forth. You know your way around this mine pretty well, Jarl, although you haven't worked the top levels for very many years. You know that probably the quickest way to get to so you walk maybe 10 foot down and you end up in a large room, which is where a lot of the ore is sorted. But all this has been knocked over, like the machinery has been smashed, and there's 3 passageways, one to the left, one to the right, and one straight on. Now, you know that the one to the left will eventually lead the way you've come, but this is mainly where the mine carts went, and it went all the way through the kind of mine, twisting and turning so that you could pick up all the different things. The way to the right is the quickest way down to the lift that will take you down to the 2nd level and then the 3rd level.
And what direction does the trail go in, or the scent go in?
The trail is just everywhere. Even your wolf saint can't determine it. Whatever creatures have been out murdering the miners and have caused all sorts of terribleness in the temple, they didn't find out exactly what, they have been all over this mine.
So the particular one that I was following is just everywhere here?
Everywhere, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna drop B shape. Come back out. And, the trail I was following.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
You were a wolf, and then you came. Sorry, that was just very surprising.
I apologize. The trail I was following, it's everywhere in here. I can't distinguish. What kind of creatures live in this mine?
I mean, like the last usually ruckus is usually caused by some kobolds and giant rats, but whatever took off ran had tentacles. I mean, we barely escaped with our lives, but listen, with a hero like yourself, I think there's nothing to fear. Plus, if Meydn expects me to leave today, that is his will.
Perhaps we should go to I know our friends went to the cavern already to investigate the mine. Or maybe they're down there already.
Post haste.
Find them. I would like to, like, if there's, I'm assuming that there's maybe lanterns or torches around because it was an active mine.
There absolutely are, although they're all extinguished currently.
Well, I can make fire, can I?
Yeah, sure. I think finding a torch or a lantern in the mine is no problem at all.
Yeah, okay.
Which way do you want to head? Do you want to head down to the sort of longer winding way to the left? Do you want to head... So the way straight on is going to be a different route, but the way to the right is the way that you would normally take, John.
I was going to lead us towards the lift. See, here's the thing. That will take you down, but it is a winding route through the cogs. It'll take us much longer. If they are in trouble, we should take the lift. That'll take us directly down. But let me do this real quick. And I just kind of etch in a little fresh Meydn symbol where the lift is.
Everywhere you go.
Just in case if our friends are behind us, they'll see the symbol, or anyone will know that
nice.
I came this way. A little breadcrumb.
Smart.
Okay, you start making your way through the mine, obviously lit by the sort of faint flickering light of the lantern, and you notice ahead, you've probably been going for about, 5 or 10 minutes, not far, and you're very aware of your footfalls on the floor, this sort of crunch of the pair of you feel like you're sort of walking in tandem for a moment, and then suddenly you hear something else, like you hear this like, so crunch for Gann, and then crunch for Gann, and something like crunch, and then when you stop, that crunch stops. And it's as if someone is mimicking your footfalls, but doing it well enough that you like. Is it just an echo? You're not sure, and you sort of turn around every now and again, and there's nothing there. And then you see ahead that the passageway is completely blocked. Another one of these barricades has been set up. And standing in front of it are 3 figures, each one probably the size of a child, completely hooded, dark-faced, and you just see in the flickering lights that what is visible under the hoods appears to be white skulls.
All right then.
Let's switch the camera over.
All right then, let's switch.
I'm
So, yes.
Xalfiz, and welcome to QVC.
I believe that you were just about to tackle the dwarf who was making a run for it. So the way we're going to do this, if you're okay with it, is you can either sort of like, probably what I want is a strength athletics roll, actually, as you try and take him down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my athletics is good, so this is looking positive. So it's a 17 modified.
Wow. Okay, like he sees you coming, and this I can imagine that. Are you quite a tall half orc? A lot of half orcs are very, very large.
Oh yeah, he's like
Absolute unit.
Walking tank. Life in the mines.
Plowing through the snow, like he sees you and panics and starts running too, but he just cannot outrun you. In fact, let's actually find out. I will do it. I will give him a chance because this is D&D. So he is pretty tough. He gets. He actually gets a 21.
Wow.
So,
Oh no!
so you charge towards
Wait, are you
him.
raging?
Oh yeah.
You get advantage.
Oh yeah.
No.
Get out DM'd. Get out DM'd.
I think we're going to stay with this for now. So you launch yourself forward, and you almost have him, but his stocky dwarven legs just power forward, and you find yourself sliding across the snow at full speed. He's just jumped over you. He looks down and just starts running. And he is heading in the direction of the lake, but he is outpacing you, and you are now on the ground, although still quite sliding at quite a speed.
At quite a
with
clip.
that 17.
Cool.
Graham and Xalfiz, I will say that you have seen this. Probably, I imagine maybe Yeska, you gave out a shout like a battle cry.
Oh yeah. Ah! What's that practice? I'm a minor.
Xalfiz, check now. So, would they? As I check down the side of the house, I can see the back and that he's the legger for it. Would I be able to chuck my harpoon to just try and just see if I can catch him with the legs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give me that roll.
Oh god, is there any way I could put my hand on his harpoon as I see him doing this? And I got something.
If you do, it'll send you with the harpoon. You want to do that?
I don't. I really don't. I've killed too many characters in this goddamn show to do that.
You said you don't weigh that much. We'll see how good my
35 pounds. Yeah.
So I'm not going to roll initiative, but I will say whoever has the highest dex can act first. So who's got the higher dex?
That's not me. He's a rogue. I have a +2.
Ooh, my dex is
You're
+3.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So he has it.
Okay.
Go first.
So Graham, you're first.
Go, baby.
Okay. Oh wait, I just rolled 16.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that does it. So yeah, give me a damage roll to see where you hit him.
What?
Oh, you're trying to cast grease on the harpoon.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to cast grease. I'm trying to not kill him, man. But anyway.
No, I'm not trying to kill him either. I'm aiming
give me
for
a damage roll. Yeah.
Damage roll.
I mean, yeah.
Oh dear.
We'll see how well that went.
We'll see how well that went indeed. Yeah.
What
It's
were you aiming for?
1d6 plus 3, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look.
He's running away. Harpoon him.
5 damage. Right, that's it. In the legs.
Oh, I mean, it has struck him badly, and there's like a spray of blood, and he just begins to pinwheel across the floor. I mean, he was going at a speed.
Oh,
and
I thought it'd be like he get pinned into the ice, and then Jessica just slides into him.
Well,
You ain't
he
writing
does,
the
and then
story, bud. That's not how that works.
He's just laid face down on the ice. There's this splash of blood behind him, and I will say, Jessica, you kind of slide. Whoosh, penguin on your belly, and just stop next to him. He's just face down in the ice.
So can Xalfiz calmly walk back onto Miss Penguin, just kind of stand on her head? So I'm now 5 foot tall. Miss Penguin kind of just zzz up to Graham, slap him in the face, going, "The town thinks we're heroes. Stop trying to kill people."
So
I could have cast grease. He would have slipped. You've not. And then as we're doing, we're walking towards him, and still lecturing the whole way.
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm able to patch up people pretty good. Get to him and go, "Look, I'm sorry you didn't want to buy our collapsing pole, and that my friend took offense and hit you with a harpoon. But let us solve the problem, and we'll give you a discount." I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. So I guess let's have a moment. So Jeska, you kind of slide up to him, and you're lying on your side. You're facing him. He's lying on his side, facing you, and he sort of opens his one eye and goes, "Hey, Jeska, is that you?"
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Dorf?
How's
Still in your belly next to him.
How's your leg?
What's going on? You were running somewhere, and I was fixing to stop you, but you stopped. What's going on, man?
Udril, he needs me. He's hiding out on a boat in the lake. He doesn't want to die like the rest of you. Please. I think I'm dying. Take the supplies in my house to Udril. Save him from these creatures. He's not dying at all. He's got a nasty wound.
Okay. All right, Dorf. You've always had a flair for the dramatics, but listen, in this town, if you haven't taken a harpoon to the leg,
all you can hear in the background is "Yes, got him." You're I'm fist pump in the air, ooh.
Cool.
Moment.
Again, I'm very conscious of time, so as the four
Yeah.
of you, I guess, head off in the direction of the lake, let's switch the camera back to Jarl and Gann, who are facing off against these hooded figures.
Now,
What?
you have a very threatening presence about yourself, and I'll give you 1 second to introduce yourself and be kind and let us know what's going on here, or you'll meet you'll meet what Meydn has in store for you. And I just seem to crack like every bone in my body just over and over again.
And like Gann will stand up to like full height, which like because he's normally hunched a bit, and he just stands up to like full height, and he's just like towering over these things that are like the size of small children.
Takes 1 point of damage off the roof.
Yeah, bangs
now-
my head, punches again.
Ow!
Yeah,
So
now,
the first small figure has got it again. Its head is completely covered. It's probably only about 3 foot high, and it raises its hand, which starts glowing with red fire.
okay, so it's gonna be like that.
They just stare at you in silence.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
This is a conversation, gentlemen, or gentlewomen, or gentledem. Would you like to perform some sort of discourse with us? Or do we have to do the same thing? And I'm going to start making it. I'll raise my hand, let some fire build in it.
So he pulls back his hood, and at first it appears to be a skull. This, like the first bit, you kind of get this white, pointy nose, and it pulls it back further and further and further, and you realise you're mistaken. It isn't a skull at all. This is a kobold. This is one of the Icewind Dale kobolds that have the like white skin of the white dragon.
Oh, this is nothing. This is just a couple kobolds.
Oh.
Get out of here! Come on, get out of here!
Banging my shield with my club.
Skid!
Come on! Get out of here! We got work to do. Get out of the way!
The kobold steps forward and goes. What voice was going to use for kobold? I feel there's only one that I can use. Well, the master has said that you have to die, right? All of you and the miners from down below, you have to die. So we're going to kill you. Every single one of you. And then
Come on.
suddenly there's this like shout from behind. And then from behind this barricade, you can hear the sounds of running feet.
God.
Okay, we got a lot of them then. Listen, are you ready to die? Are you ready to meet your maker? Because that's exactly what's going to happen the moment you make any move towards us. Now, I will not be blackmailed by some ineffectual, soft lizard.
You say that, right? But the master, he is more powerful than you, and he works for the tentacled creature from below, and he is said to mess you all up. So we're gonna mess you all up, and they all pull back their skulls, and they all go, mess you up, mess you up, mess you up, right? And
I want to cast Guiding Bolt on the lead one.
Weirdly charming.
okay, give me that surprise round. You can roll with advantage.
Let's see.
Bet these guys do parkour too.
Oh, all right.
What is going on?
All right. So 23 is 23 and an 8, and 17 damage.
You just blow him. In fact, you tell me what happens to this head kobold.
I look at him, like, all right, and I kind of twist. Guiding Bolt looks like this. Give him the horns.
Yeah.
And as I kind of
Nice.
flick my finger, this bolt just crushes out and just rips off his head. So it's just a neck down is all that's left that just kind of crumbles to the ground.
How are we considered heroes in this town?
So the one next to him kind of looks down at his friend and he goes, "For the master!" And then there's this, I don't know if you've ever played Halo, when the swarm starts like pouring over the walls.
Yeah.
And then like 5 and then 6 and then 7, and then you reckon there must be 20 of these things start crawling over this barricade and charging towards you. Gann, you can have a surprise round. You can have that moment.
The barricade itself, you said the one upstairs was made of like furs and rocks and stuff like that. Is the same one here?
There's no furs. It's mainly kind of like it's mainly probably rocks and things they've dragged from the mine. There's like a mine cart or a couple of mine carts,
Anything wooden, anything flammable, basically. I want to set it on fire.
Yeah, you can. There's probably enough to set on fire. What are you going to use?
I want to do, well, first of all, like in the center point of it where they're all coming over, I want to cast bonfire anyway, which will be a 5-foot square, and if they go over it, they take damage, or they have to, I guess, roll to avoid damage. Let me confirm that. No, they just take damage if they run over it. Oh no, if they succeed in a dexterity saving throw, they don't, but otherwise they take 1d8 damage. And I just like to cast it in the middle of it and try to set the barricade on fire, as much of it as I can.
Okay, I mean they're going to still come. Like they seem like they're running with fanaticism. Out of the, are you going to stay and battle this horde, or are you going to try and make it out of there?
I kind of look over at Gerald and like, do you want to stay and fight this, or I don't see our friends? I'm not. There's a lot of them.
The day for cowards ends now.
Okay.
All right.
A bit intense.
Gone. What are they? 20 kobolds.
They've done nothing but kobolds. You see what happened.
All right.
They're nothing but large lizards.
19 kobolds now as well, so easy.
All right.
Listen, I'll take 11. You take 8.
With that done, Gerald looks over, and at his side again, there is a dire wolf.
Nice. Okay. As you kind of tackle impossible odds.
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe was expecting this.
We're gonna bully a guy on the ground now. So
Yeah, remember when we were gonna go to the mines and instead we shot like my friend's brother in the legs with a harpoon?
20 minutes ago. If my friends
grieving
show
man.
up, here's the sigil of where we are.
It's a tough week. His brother's died and he's been shot in the leg.
Well, can't have everything.
Okay, so we're going to return the camera back to Grayan, Gann, and Xalfiz as you follow. Sorry, not Grayan, Gann. Sorry, Graham, Xalfiz, and Jeska as you stroll side by side with Dorf to the lake. And Dorf is sort of chatting away, and he basically says that they're really worried they're being followed, and he keeps on like glancing behind them at all times, like pretty sure something's after us. So I've got all these supplies, right? And we're going to camp out on the lake on one of the boats. There's no way anything bad can happen there.
Yeah, there's never been any situations with boats and people dying or stuff coming from beneath them from the deep. Great idea.
And
So what makes him think there's something following him? Like, has he seen things? Is he crazy? Has he heard things? Did he get a note saying, P.S. you're next in a creepy bad penmanship window message?
well, probably shouldn't be telling you this, but he's been having these nightmares ever since they ended up.
Dark crystals can't climb. Yeah, yeah. Right?
Yeah, so you know about this. So anyway, they uncovered this room full of strange crystals. And they all started having nightmares. And after a few days, they decided they were going to knock down the roof and collapse it on these crystals. Maybe the nightmares will stop, right?
Okay.
But they didn't really want to go in, so they drew straws to see who would go in. And the one that lost was a little halfling, member of their crew, called Dale Nimbletoes. And he went in. Something was in there waiting for him. Something large with tentacles.
Cool.
They all
I
ran.
remember.
Well, he collapsed the mine?
Yeah, I remember. I was also there.
Of course you were, Jeska. Of course you were. Well, ever since then.
Why shouldn't you be telling us this? I'm very confused with your motives.
Me?
No, yeah, Jessica. This harpoon man, the guy who wouldn't buy our product,
The harpoon man.
He's like
No.
limping along.
never got his name.
Orf.
Dorf. It's been said multiple times.
His name is Dorf.
Yeah, to Owen, not to Xalfiz.
Anyway, whatever was in there has been hunting them. It's coming out, murdering them in the night. We're still getting these. Well, they're still getting these nightmares. Are you getting the nightmares, Jeska?
Oh, yeah, of course. I just don't understand why Yudril would decide to leave while the rest of us are in town just to get murdered, I guess. I mean, I thought we were friends, but whatever.
well, we can see here, and there's you've basically been making your way over the frozen lake,
Mm-hmm.
where there's a boat that's been anchored about maybe 10 foot, it's in the frozen lake, about 10 foot from the ice, and then the ladder has been laid across the gap. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Oh.
What does that mean?
I think it means someone's taken whatever was in the boat.
Oh God! And he starts running forward.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, a lot of things with tentacles tend to live in water, so the boat idea may be, not the greatest choice, but yeah, let's run towards the water.
As he starts running, I grip my harpoon, but I remember that I shouldn't, so I put it back. It's fine.
Oh no.
I'm like, whoa, sorry.
Steady your own hat.
So, yeah,
Steady.
Xalfiz is gonna follow up after him, but at a nice, safe 5 foot, less grabbable distance by tentacles.
Okay. Can you all give me a perception roll, please?
Buddy, can I? I'll go first, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I just.
Okay, sorry, you're gone.
Oh no, sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. One
I'll
second.
roll first. Here we go. So I rolled a 22 modified.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Hey,
Ooh.
I can go. You can go.
Yeah, about that. I rolled a 4.
So I guess the other two are moving ahead as Xalfiz, and I guess they're kind of balancing their way across the ladder, following Dwarf into the boat.
I'm just
You're looking down
astounded
at the
that I've put a
ice.
harpoon through this man's leg and he's doing this thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's all I'm
He's pretty
focused
tough.
on. Yeah.
He's, I guess maybe he's crawling. You're looking around, Xalfiz, and you see that from the ladder there is a blood trail heading towards the woods, going across the ice.
So Xalfiz is going to take a hard right and follow the blood trail and going. I think I found the problem, guys. It seems to be, we may have a body or just another. I don't know. Another blood trail. This place is nothing but blood trails. And I don't get this whole goddamn Icewind Dale.
As you say that, there's this scream as Dwarf goes, "No!" And lying in the boat, in the open boat, is the head of your once companion, Bieska, the minor Yudril.
Oh,
Only his head
dagnabbit.
has been taken away.
Dang nabbit.
Well, I mean,
Shucks.
this is in great odds, I'll tell you that. Whew. Let me just take a seat. You don't see a head of your friend every day. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're me, I guess. Whew. Whee! Well, how is Dwarf holding up? I'm obviously shook up.
Dwarf is really upset, and he's looking around going, "Right, we've got to get him. We've got to get him." And he's looking around for any kind of, and I guess at this moment, Xalfiz, that's when you shout, "There's a trail."
Yeah. So look, guys, let's not get dramatic here. There's a trail. We can still catch whoever's done this. There's no point. It's not practical. This is what I call myself is the practical. It's not practical to waste time on something we can't change. So let's see if we can solve the problem by following this trail. Who's with me? On 3, right? 1, 2. Okay.
So
Like,
again,
it's not practical for you to mourn the fact that your brother just got decapitated.
Well, I will be grabbing the head.
I'm not called Xalfiz the emotional. I mean, it makes sense. There's a time for mourning.
Understood.
There's a time
Right.
for mourning. It's not when we're in mortal danger. Nobody
Well,
gets
what
to
do you
mourn
suggest
if
we do then,
everyone's-
Xalfiz?
I say we don't die and we follow the blood trail.
Blood
I
trail?
think that's a great
What
idea.
blood trail? And then
Well, I'm standing in the blood trail and he's shaking
Oh.
his foot and and there's spatters of blood coming out. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
So it's not a difficult trail to follow, and it basically heads to the edge of the lake and a little bit through the woods, and that's where it gets more tricky to follow. And what I do, can you give me, Xalfiz, an investigation roll, just to see if you can do it quickly, or whether it's going to whether there's going to be moments where you lose it and go back and forth.
I got 19 with a plus, so 16 with a plus 3, 19 total.
Straight there, you can follow the trail. You see you basically leads you straight to what appears to be not a mine shaft, but maybe like an air shaft. So when you're really deep down, you often do these kind of mines off to one side to allow air to the miners deep down. And this appears to where the top grate has been wrenched off and the blood trail goes down it. Now this trail, this hole is probably maybe only 1.5 foot in diameter. Like, it's not huge, maybe a bit more, maybe just under 2 foot in diameter. But it's tight and it's steep.
It appears to have come from this mine, in this mine shaft vent, and I have just the equipment to get us right down it safely. Takes out his little extendable arrow, lays it across the hole, presses the button, and then gets out his rope out of his pack and just makes a, basically, like, ties it around the capsule pole and throws the rope down the hole. So I think the best thing for us to do is stop whatever's down there before it murders Jessica or your very, very fanatical cleric friend.
Yeah. Probably,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Good idea.
You're the heroes. I trust you. I trust your judgment. I'm just trying not
Yeah.
to get decapitated like my friend.
Yeah.
So
You drill. It's not a good look.
not a good look at all.
Okay.
So I guess as you make this decision, let's flick the camera over to Jarl and Gann. Now, as you can imagine, when level 2 characters try and take on 20, even if they're kobolds, it doesn't
19.
go well. 19, sorry. No. So you kind of open your eyes. There's pain all over you. You have taken a beating. And you can hear this, like, really angry argument. Do either of you speak Draconic?
No, I do not believe so. No.
Niall speaks all languages. That's the only one he doesn't speak.
So
I
you-
actually have like 5 languages.
So you hear like one side of this argument. So one kobold is saying something you don't understand at all. It just sounds like it's really kind of angry. And the other one's going, I told you before, the master doesn't like us speaking in that language. You've got to speak common now. We've got to speak like proper people. And the other one's like, so as I said, I think we should chop their heads off. You know, the master's thing doesn't like to eat heads, doesn't like brains. Chop the heads off, take them down, and we can feed it to them, and we'll be, you know, like really big in the master's eyes. The master will be happy with us. And the other one goes, and then like 3 others go, like not happy. I told you, speak in common. And then at that moment, you sort of open your eyes, and you're kind of pretty much surrounded. There's a circle of kobolds, and you're off to one side. Your back is up against something hard. And these 2 kobolds are arguing in the center of the circle, and you're kind of up against one of the mine carts, and you're tied up.
Am I? Did they beat me so much that I came out of B shape?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this was the greatest idea, and I don't know where her friends are. Or what
I
do we
mean,
should
we're
do next,
not
guy.
dead yet, so
This is
pretty
true.
good idea.
How are we looking? I guess health wise.
I'm going to gloss over that. We'll just keep
All
it
right,
as
cool.
normal, because it's not really
Cool. How tight are these ropes? Like,
fair. So these are kobold ropes. They probably haven't tied you up particularly well. You probably could break free, but obviously you're still surrounded by 19 kobolds. And in fact, you sort of look up, and there's a kobold right above you, sitting on the, you know, the bit of the minecart that sort of controls the brake and speed and things. He's like just sat on there, just right above you.
all right.
And you're in that, you know, the first room that we talked about with the 3 passageways.
Oh, so we're back at the start
Yeah.
of mine. Okay. Who is your master? I talked to the one who's got the fantastic accent.
Hey, they're awake. All right, we need to get you down to the master. Right. Come on, let's get him in. Screw, we won't cut their heads
No.
off just yet.
I completely forgot. These are proper people. These aren't just kobolds. These speak in common.
See, I told you. We need to start speaking in common now. Come on.
I agree. Listen, you must be the leader.
You definitely seem like the most educated and handsome.
Yeah, so
of-
proper. So
bunch.
very proper.
I do declare.
We've only got like 10, 15 minutes left of this show, so I'm not arguing with you, and I'm not falling for that shit. So get in the fucking minecart, and we're gonna get you down here. And then like you feel like hands underneath you trying to push you into this like.
Well, you know,
minecart.
if you're gonna do this proper, you do have to untie us. You should know that. I mean, unless you're not a proper gentleman.
What are you talking about? Shut up.
It was worth a shot.
And so they sort of heave you into this minecart one by one. Right, now we chop their heads off. Where's that bloody axe gone?
Gone at the stage just stands
follow
up.
my lead.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And I'm going to look at the goblin who's controlling the lever.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast command and say pull.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh god. Okay. So does he get a saving throw?
He does. It's a spell save, DC 13.
He rolls a 3.
Oh, yay, we're going on an adventure.
Adventure.
Oh no, they're getting away, right? Get on the bloody minecart. And so like your minecart starts rolling and picking up speed and bombing its way through the mine. And then the kobold that was shouting jumps on another minecart and you can see him. Well, you can see him, Jarl. Gann, you can't see anything. You're at the bottom of this minecart with like Gann on top of you, with Jarl on top of you. And then you've got this kobold steering it. Right. Okay.
Well,
you can tell it's picking up speed. Let's see how this goes. How do you want to do this? I think let's do this as a quick. I don't know if you ever played 4th edition. Let's do this as a sort of old-fashioned skill challenge. Let's say you need 3 successes. How would you like to start off, Jarl? You're in charge right away.
Yeah, Jarl's going to go ahead and use his dwarven might to just rip these ropes off so he can kind of steady himself and help Gam kind of, so that we're not on top of each other bound.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also,
Give me that strength roll.
Nice.
That's a 14 plus 1.
That is a pass. Okay, you rip yourself free, and suddenly the minecart is flying over a huge open space. Down below is this huge tunnel going straight down into the Underdark, and the minecart is flying over it. Gann, give us a roll.
Okay. I want to also break my restraints, so I'll do a strength check also.
So the one rule with with the skill challenge we do is you can't use the same skill in a row. So what Jarl uses strength athletics, you need to use a different thing. So skill challenges are all about kind of like giving numbers and rolls to a narrative construct, so making it fun. So you need to use a different type of
You
skill.
could do wild shape and arcana or something.
I don't have
Survival, break your thumb so you can slide out.
break your own thumb.
Yeah, you can do like sleight of
Dislocate
hand.
I'd like to just do. I'd like dexterity, and I'd like to try to trip the kobold that's on the front off of the minecart.
Okay, you can absolutely do that.
I don't know if I have any dexterity. I plus 1. Cool. Roll. I got a 16 plus 1, a 17.
Nice. Okay, so he goes flying off, and there's like a boom, 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 and the minecart tips over as he's run over by it, and you nearly fall out, but you carry on going, and you find yourself going steeper and steeper and steeper, turning a corner, almost being knocked out as you're onto the 2nd level of the mine. Behind you, you can hear the kobold shouting, "All right, get him! They're getting away. We need more weight in this goddamn thing!" And you can hear like a crossbow bolt fire into the back of your minecart. Jarl, give us another roll. You need your last success.
I'm going to go ahead and I'd like to just make a swipe at one of the support beams as we cross by it.
Nice. Okay. What kind of skill would you say that is?
I was going to say maybe a wisdom. Knowing where exactly to hit it, so for the maximum amount of collapse.
Nice.
Something
I think that's a really good idea. I like it. Okay, give me that wisdom roll.
And here we go.
Oh no!
Nice.
Oh boy, you got that wise.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what'd you get?
6.
So that is a fail. So you kind of crash your axe or your hammer into it, and you just hit it in completely the wrong place. And your arm just judders for a moment. You almost drop the axe. You almost go flying out of the cart. But this is a fail, and you notice from behind you that your action has actually slowed you down, and the kobolds are catching you up. Gann, your round.
Can I cast Entangle on the kobold's minecart?
You absolutely can, but because we're in a skill challenge, we do this as an
so I'll do
arcana
that.
roll.
I'll do Arcana, yeah.
Or you can do it as a nature roll if you prefer.
Oh hell yeah! Wait, no, it's the exact same. They're both the exact same, so yeah. I'll do Arcana. 3 plus 2.
Boy.
I got
So,
a
like,
5.
the sort of nature, your sort of spell takes hold onto the metal rails, the minecart, and these sort of like tendrils of plants begin to come up and grasp. But growing out of metal is obviously not the best place for them. And as they grasp onto the minecart behind you, they just get flung away and don't slow it down at all. In fact, by leaning backwards and casting this spell, you've exposed yourself to the chance of getting hit. I need you to take 1d4 points of damage from a kobold arrow. So you take 2 points of damage. Jarl, your round. You've now got 2 successes, 2 failures. Let's see how this last roll goes.
I guess I'll do I'm gonna do maybe a survival check, but I'm gonna use I'm gonna flavor it as using thaumaturgy on them to maybe right where the right place to shake to maybe drop some rock on them or something.
Nice, I love it. Okay, give us that survival roll. That's a nice idea.
All right.
You shall not pass.
All right, that's a 17.
Wow. Okay, your booming voice echoes across the tunnel, and there's this kind of like rumble which starts off low and gets louder and louder and louder, and there's this huge crash as the rock slide from behind you explodes, filling the corridor and completely blocking off the passageway for the kobolds, and your minecart continues down until it opens out into the 3rd level. The place that you have been dreading for this 10-day. And you see ahead the corridor leading to the Geo chamber. Let's move the camera over to where Graham, Yeska, and Xalfiz are flying down this tunnel at full speed. Unless, did you say you're using a rope, Xalfiz?
Yeah, I didn't think it's true, as it's a mine and I have 50 feet of rope. But it took some of this thing out of the trip, I imagine.
Yeah. And if we had more time, we absolutely would do this. Probably as another skill challenge. But I think what we're going to do is we are going to say that this like helter-skelter, this almost water slide, probably like ice slide, sends you all flying down through into the darkness and eventually leads you again to the place that Graham Voss, you have been dreaming about for the last 10 days. The Geo chamber. You tumble out of the passageway, and just by sheer coincidence, I mean, you wouldn't believe it, but you arrive right in front of Gann and Jarl.
Oh,
Yes, good to see you again.
Hey, Jarl.
I can see
As
why
you do.
you guys mind. This is really fun. If that's how you gotta work every day, that puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, you know. If you love the work that you do, you never work a day in your life.
Oh,
That's what I
yeah.
think.
Right now, we don't love this though.
Well, I mean, hey, by the way,
No.
Yundrill, he's dead.
Okay, well that checks out.
Yeah.
Is that why you have his head with you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm assuming it was kobolds.
I don't know. He was gonna leave, but
We got a kobold problem.
Or we ain't seen no kobolds. We met a very nice man, and then we stabbed him. It turns out it was a mistake.
we harpooned him.
That was our story. I mean, we.
Yeah,
I mean, we
I
say
like how
we.
everyone's taking blame for that one.
It's
Anyway,
a team effort, but there's
Yeah.
definitely one person at fault.
Right now,
So you
the
hear
best
a
thing-
voice echoing down the corridor from the shining Geo chamber, and you see a shadow, incredibly long, horned and winged, approaching you, and the voice goes, "Right, you probably thought it was kobolds, but actually it was me all along." And a kobold steps into the light with wings and horns.
this.
I mean, do we know you? Sorry.
Yeah, are you a person of importance? Because you just look
You
like a
are.
little kobold in plain dress up.
yeah.
What on earth are you talking about? I'm Dale. Dale
What?
Nimblefingers.
Oh,
You buggers, you killed me.
well, I mean, we didn't mean to.
I don't know about that. I
I
didn't.
thought a tentacle killed you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
right.
mean, you didn't think he was evil
That's
with
actually
the
the
horns
story I heard.
with the horns and the wings? I mean, guys, it's very obviously evil. Surely you got this when you're working with him.
You're right. Tentacle will be here in a moment. he's a monster from down below. And he points down to this chasm leading down and down and down into the Underdark. And Graham, you recognize this. Jarl and Jeska, you recognize this. This is the cavern from your nightmares. This tunnel goes right down into the Underdark. And this kobold steps forward again and goes, "You killed me, right? But I wasn't dead. I came back as a ghost. And I took over this goddamn kobold, and I used him and all his other kobolds to get a revenge on all of you that killed me."
Oh, this is a revenge thing.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
Niall, I would be a lot more intimidated if you weren't a kobold. Now, we're gonna do some real quick. We're gonna seal this up. You can either stay a kobold, and we can work through this. We can have a discussion, or we're gonna put you in that chasm. That's your call. You make it right now because we don't have a lot of time. So what is it going to be? You want to work through this, or do we have to shove you in that hole?
We have a head you can haunt right here if you want to help us.
Yeah.
You see that? It's not just me. I've got the Dweller in the Dark out down there. He's coming. I'm sure he's coming any minute now. And he he pulls out this little kobold sword. You can see him. And then from behind him, you see these tentacles begin to stretch through the darkness. They're each tipped with these spines, and they float towards him. "I'll get him. He's gonna get you in a minute." And he turns around and sees them and goes, "He's here! Look! Look!" And he shouts in ecstasy as these tentacles begin to squirm towards him. What do you guys want to do?
I think we should probably blow this place to smithereens and leave.
I think that's a great idea.
I like that.
I'm okay with that.
Tentacles aren't as
fuck
bad
Dave.
as your first one.
So when I look around, do I see any explosives or something that was left around?
No.
There is no. What if I luck roll? No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh man.
This exact thing you needed.
I have an idea. Look, we're all agreed. Just Dale, 1 second. Sidebar. We're on agreement. We don't like Dale, right?
Nah.
Oh no, he sucks.
Yeah, he's very far gone.
He's made it very clear that he sucks.
Once we have the vote, I just shoot Dale.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Let's see how
I
that
put
goes.
my
So
hand
like in a
into the
huddle,
circle.
and then you just shoot.
I put my hand in the middle, and everyone puts their hands on top. We're like, "Go team!" And then
Nice.
We can turn
Okay.
around.
Well, we are coming to the end of our show, so I figured that works.
Nice.
So as Dale slumps forward, the tentacles immediately collapse upon him and drag him back into the hole, into the tunnel where the shining lights are, and they continue back and back and back and disappear wherever that tunnel disappears to.
So, team, that's one problem solved. Now, you're two very clever miners, and you helped build this tunnel. You broke into it. Which one of these beams would be the load-bearing beam?
Let me see that collapsible pole of yours.
There you go. You've heard about the infomercials, clearly.
Jeska was telling me about it as you guys were.
That great stuff. I want one later.
I go to where the keystone is, and I just place it. And the moment it expands, it's gonna break all the bindings. That's gonna collapse this cavern.
Nice. Okay, I feel like I need a roll, so I feel like just something you can choose. I guess survival.
I'm like Graham. Shoot it, the little button, so we can be far away.
Okay, so
You will lose the pole.
Yeah,
It's okay,
we should have told you that.
you can make me a
it's a
retractable
prototype.
harpoon, right?
It's a prototype.
It's the prototype. Ooh, I can make him a retractable harpoon, so we can be 10 feet away from this keystone, which is 10 feet away from the elevator, as we just decided.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so give me that roll. I will need a shot.
I cast guidance.
Oh, 16.
Wow.
16 is good enough.
16.
So
You see plus your hit,
Xalfiz,
yeah.
tell me how this pole collapses the tunnel leading to the geo chamber that's making this call.
So Xalfiz takes out this little multi-tool he has, this little artificer tools, and it's like, takes the harpoon out of his hand, turns around for a second, 1 second now, do a few modifications, and there's this little weird like red button that appears at the bottom of the handle of the harpoon. Hands it back to Graham and goes, just press that button, give it that stone, and then, rocks fall, everyone dies. It's a very classic story of killing tentacles.
Nice.
Basically.
so I guess the expands, the load-bearing beams buckle, and whatever is hidden in the geo chamber is hidden forever as the stones collapse around it, taking away Dale, taking away the tentacle creature, and hopefully saving all of you.
Just as we're going up to end the show, I'd like through the elevator. Can I press the station a business card saying Xalfiz is collapsing poles and hand it to the two dwarves and go, look, we might be around town for. Sorry, it's the dwarf and the half orc, two miners. I meant. We're going to be here for a couple of weeks. If any of your friends want some of these handy dandy poles, I can spend my time in the downtime between sessions selling them to make money.
Well, the 5 of my other friends are dead, and well, I mean, I have one friend right here, but
I mean, I'm pretty sure Norvin's brother will need it. He'll probably need a cane of some sort because he got a harpoon to the leg.
Yeah.
So
He's
I'm
also
sure we
missing
can
an
find some
eye.
people. Yeah.
You
I
can
think
become members of
Dwarf
the
Grave
business.
Rally would definitely take a poll.
Oh, we could be. Oh, well.
Yeah, there's levels, there's a tier system, you get rewards, we can send you.
Well, it's clear that being a miner isn't safe anymore, so I would love to get into the business of selling poles, I guess.
As the camera moves away from this business transition, and begins to dark and fade to black, I want to thank everyone who's watched us tonight. We have been Does It Roll? This will be going out every week on the How We Roll podcast. It will be fully edited up, and you can find me at HWR Podcast. And we will be on the twitch.tv /Does It Roll every week at the same time. We'll have different guests every week, and we've got some really, really cool guests lined up. And again, thank you so much, Devon and Jakub, for joining us. It's been an absolute blast. We will be continuing this chat. So if you're watching us on twitch.tv /DND, we will be continuing this chat on twitch.tv /Does It Roll for at least the next half an hour. So please move over to
if you're part of the giveaway, go over there as well, guys, to get the information and see.
We'll announce the giveaway there. Obviously, we're giving away some cool figures from WizKids, and we're giving away a D&D Beyond code for the new Rime of the Maiden book. So please do head over to twitch.tv /Does It Roll. I'm going to hand over to Owen, who is going to handle the post game. So thank you everyone for playing.
All right, guys. Yay. Thanks very much. That was a bit mad. As Joe said, I'm How We Roll Owen. I am the charming one of the group. Just to piss everyone else off. No, we're quickly before anything else. Look, thank you very much to our two special guests, Devon and Jakub of Total Party Chill. We're going to let those guys first shill their products, seeing as they've waited 2 hours of playing with us to do so. So tell us a little about yourselves, guys. The only reason they're here, they don't even like us, apparently.
I met half your crew when me and Robbie were D&D live. We had a blast, had a lot of good drinks, and we've been internet friends ever since. And we're both from Total Party Chill, an actual play D&D show on Twitch. It's more of us yelling at each other than it is as much playing D&D, but we have a lot of fun. It was nice to be a player.
Yeah. He's usually our DM. Usually in our game, I play a gnome ranger. I mean,
very lovely gnome ranger.
Vastly different from
it's probably the hottest character in the show.
A man after my own heart, playing the little people.
But yeah, every Sunday at 5, actual play D&D here on Twitch
at twitch.tv. Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Nice.
And you can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv /Total Party Chill.
Well, we're checking out, guys. If you follow us on Twitter and stuff, you'll see that we're sharing their stuff. So, but well worth watching. We'll drop their link in chat as well, actually. So, Joe, what about yourself? What do you think of that game? We'll go around the table. To see
I mean, so it was definitely written with a horror vibe in mind. And I think if we done it over 4 or 8 hours, I think we definitely could roll into that. But I think you guys were having so much fun with the kind of sort of less horror, more kind of having fun with it. And I think it was really, like, it was so entertaining. Like the first half an hour of you just sort of chatting in the tavern was hilarious. I love all your characters. Jarl and Jessica were just brilliant. The moment you spoke, I was like, right, this isn't going to be a horror game.
Not a horror game, but I was holding really a head somehow.
I mean, the moment it was kobolds, I decided it wasn't horror either.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Well, also the accent didn't really lead to horror with the kobolds too, Joe.
Well, no, and again, like, so I think when you're kind of DMing, and particularly when you're DMing into a timescale, I wanted to lean into the vibe that you were creating, and I really liked what you were going with it. I liked the story that your characters were telling, and I think that voice suited what you were doing.
Yeah.
I'd planned to have like a much kind of scarier thing, and I was going to really sort of play into the fact you're being followed all the time. And I think I hinted at the beginning with the thing scratching the window, but that just didn't suit the tone that you were generating. So I figured let's roll in something else. And hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it.
Little Rachel did something wrong.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, you fit right with what the 3 players normally do. Joe has an image in his head and then realizes, these idiots can't do that. That's basically what happens.
This isn't within their mental capabilities.
So Niall, on that note, tell us how Joe frustrated you this game, because we clearly frustrated him.
I didn't. Well, I don't know.
I'm joking. What do you think of the game?
I had a good time. It's nice to actually have like B shape now and be able to use that. But yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, it was a good laugh.
A man of many words. Niall O'Byrne.
I'm very, very eloquent.
And then the only man to do damage, maybe. Oh no,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, wait, was I?
Sorry, no, Gerald decapitated a kobold.
The kobold.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Yeah, the only person to hit a friendly PC. NPC. I had Grease. I could have cast Grease to make him slip. I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking take him down from 400
Well, you should have thought
yards.
about that before you made a character who didn't have enough dex to go first.
The man only learned about what Dex does about 2 days. All right, what do you think of the game, Karen?
I had a lot of fun. I took all of my will to not fall into Jessica and Jarl's characters' voices because I just wanted to the whole time be like, well, I guess I'm from this mining town and I just want to, find my friends.
After his you,
I was really wanted to. I could feel it. You feel it in the back of your mouth. I'm like, oh, I want to make that sound.
Karen's next stream will be a Red Dead Redemption roleplay stream.
Count me in. I will be there.
Yeah, it was definitely good. Like we broke up the parties, and I thought I'm going to the mine to get killed with Karen and Jacob, and then
No, that was my job in the end.
That was such a good splitting of the parties. It's so hard to split parties, and it was done so well.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing with it.
No one ended up in the right place at all.
So,
by the grace of the GM.
I
We
100%
had the
thought-
introduction of the retractable pole, which is
That was so
awesome.
good. Oh yeah, I mean that was fantastic.
Yeah, we'll
I
tell
mean,
the story
when you
of
said
me
you were
working
playing an
door-to-door sales for-
artificer, I was waiting to see what you were going to bring out. I was expecting an alchemist jug full of mayonnaise, so that was quite pleasantly surprised.
we talked about it on stream when I was
discussed it.
leveling up. It took me all of my skills and willpower not to take alchemy jug.
Next time.
It's a great item.
It's a great one. But talking about like where we went, I was like, oh, he's got a big bag of shit. Your man Dorf running through the village. Like, well, he's clearly the enemy. So, and I forgot like Curtin isn't fully like used to D&D, so I just assumed at some point when I opened the door and started talking, he'd try and sneak into the house. And I was like, why isn't he trying to sneak into the house? I was like, well, I'm gonna make up something about rocketing in a pole. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I guess what we should do probably is see is there any questions from chat.
Also, we said thank you to everyone, but also thank you to Aram.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
God,
really
yes.
need to introduce Aram massively. So I don't
Aram,
know,
please
Aram,
don't
can you
make me
get
look
on
dumb.
screen?
He might be able to get on screen, but he can
I don't know
definitely
if we
chat.
can hear him. Oh, fantastic. We can
Oh,
hear
yeah, we
you.
can
So
hear you now.
Aram, our voice in the dark. Aram, thank you so much for everything you've done tonight. Do you want to tell us a little bit
I
about
feel like I'm taking
everything,
it.
what you do? And
Yeah,
I guess Does It Roll is a collaboration between How We Roll and God's Fall, and it's not just Ram and the Frost Maiden. We've got a whole load of awesome shows coming, and I know Ram, you've got some really cool things in mind, which I can't.
Oh,
All
Okay.
right.
all right. So
Talking to the
that's what
disembodied
you
boys.
let me take over. What you couldn't hear was Aram really, really passionately pitching his shows, God's Fall and Rise of the Demigods. Look, the reason our show looks so good this week, it looked very good last week with D&D running the board for us and doing production. But I think it went up a level. You can see all the snow effects, the layouts, everything you see from our promo pieces. Aram does it all. The man is an artistic genius, well worth following. And just we'll hopefully have him on screen next time to pitch himself because I'm not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, fantastic.
what I have, we've shown a few questions out to the audience. They're not really showing that out there, other than what they want from shirts. They want a retractable pole shirt. They want There's a lot of shirt ideas for us. Apparently, we need to figure out a merch store, Joe.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that definitely.
So what we'll do is, so we have a couple of questions coming through. Once we answer these questions, we'll do the draw in maybe the next 5-10 minutes. But before we go to audience questions, is there anything anyone wants to ask or talk about after that game? Don't all jump in at once.
I mean, I was very pleased with Joe's willingness to find solutions to any action we gave. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work if we go down the mine shaft, but I was like, I've played Donkey Kong before. I'm pretty sure we could do it.
Yeah, it's like the way you said, it's like, oh, Joe's definitely going to run with this, but it's going to be real tight. And we literally had about 6 minutes left of gameplay. I was like, this is going to be interesting.
I know. I was like,
was
skill challenge was a brave choice at that point.
But it was so good. When you said I cast command on the kobold, I was like, that's amazing. That's the best thing you can possibly have done.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you did that. I was stumped. I was like, what do I do? Just stand up and start fighting again? Like, I have nothing. I turn into a spider and run away.
So we've question then from Dark Squire is that Dweller in the Dark, is it related to things in the last game for you, Joe, I guess?
So yeah, I guess there's something that would have been nice to have come up. So there was something in the geode tunnel which would have given some hints to stuff that's happened in the last game. And that thing was sending out a call across Icewind Dale, which obviously it hit the miners when they bumped into it, when they uncovered it. It also had reached out to things in the Underdark, which is what the Dweller in the Dark was. The Dweller in the Dark was a Grell. But it also reached out to the comet. So the comet was responding to this call that the miners uncovered, and that's why the comet crashed. Hopefully we can bring that out in some future episodes.
Okay.
Right.
I'd learn something today. So then on the kobolds, are they already in the scenario as written, or is it something that you've come up with, Joe?
So the scenario as written is basically all in the mine. So the idea is that there's lots of things that I've used that are in the scenario. So there are kobolds in the scenario. There is the idea that there's this ghost that's taken over. I think that's all pretty much. I've written so much, I'm not sure which is from the book and which is not. But there are kobolds in the mine. There definitely is this ghost. What there's not is anything in the town. And what I didn't want, because we have an extra player tonight, I didn't want to have 5 players just marching through a mine. I don't think that would have been great listening. So what I thought is we'd have some in the mine and some in the town. And the way it worked out is we had both in the town but doing different things.
So I hope that answers your question, Cucker Heckus, because I didn't call you up for your question. Go on now.
There's some fantastic artwork in the book of 3 kobolds in a jacket pretending to be a human being.
Yeah.
Is that from this particular town?
It's not actually. No, I suppose it could be, but no, that's a specific thing. That's from a different town.
Okay.
Oh man, I was so tempted to play a kobold for this scenario as well. I just love kobolds. Who doesn't love kobolds?
They're amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to sound like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I
expected more like the little boy, to be honest.
Yeah, but when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, I see what Joe's doing."
I loved chat's reaction as well. It was like, "Oh no, a whole lot of roadmen have turned up." Roadmen, for anyone not from the UK, it's a term for basically like hard gangster drug dealers in London. So then that's what they sound like generally in movies and stuff. Roadmen.
No,
so
nice.
Go on, Joe. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
I was just going to sum up, just saying. So yeah, the kobolds are, but the town's not. The town's is what I created.
Yeah, and what you will learn when you play in a Joe game, and the fans told me this because I don't read DM's modules and stuff. They always like, oh, Joe used about 40% of the material as inspiration, basically, which is what is probably a good way to go.
I think, to make it your own too, especially with your own players and all that. Yeah, I think that's the best thing about these adventures is you can kind of pick what really works and then just integrate it into like how you all play.
Getting a lot of love for the kobold voices and the kobolds and the whole town stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, how would you say this? Cyborg Garvin. Do you miss using a tactical display? So, I'll answer first, I guess, but I'll show it to the rest of the guys. In terms of using a map, I think when you're in a house at around a table and playing, it can be fun. It's a bit more tactile and this gives you something to focus when you're in the room. online, I find it kind of slows you down. It's a bit more finicky because you're sometimes trying to pick up pieces that are hard to click on, and you're drawing on the map. I prefer theater of mind when I'm online personally. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Joe, as a DM, do you want to go on that?
I think I like it when you've got really interesting combat. I think you can bring in a whole load of like scenery and make it, the actual where you are part of the challenge. And I think that's really important in maybe like boss fights and things like that. But we're really, really short of time. And I think the average boss fight, particularly tactical combat, can take half an hour or an hour. And I don't want, half of our stream to be us doing a combat. I want to tell a story. I want to give you a chance to role play and solve mysteries. Like a lot of the thing what I plan to do with Does It Roll is going to be mystery. So every week there's going to be a mystery. We will probably, some of them will be very horror, some of them will be quite funny, but there will always be at their heart a mystery. And although we will do combat and things, particularly as you level up, we probably aren't going to be using maps every week. I think we will use maps.
I'm going to have to learn how to shapeshift into a Great Dane then.
There you go. I don't know about you guys on Total Party Trail. Do you guys you use maps and don't use maps? I've seen both. What's your feeling on the whole situation?
We have a battle camera, so I got one of these. It's a little to push things along on the map. Someone from our
Xalfiz extendable pole, as you'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same thing. Like, if we have a big battle, like we'll do the battle map for that battle. But I've definitely gotten a lot of leeway where I'll sometimes say, like, just if you roll, everyone just does half damage, so we don't have to roll for damage dice. That's one thing we've done to kind of speed things up to keep those boss fights fast. But we played one last week, and it was a 3-hour fight against 2 dragons at the same time, and they crushed it. Literally, they just crushed a dragon's skull. So,
oops.
I think that more or less covers the question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a selfie stick? I think no. You got a good view of it there.
No, it's a legitimate. It's got the.
There you go.
An instrument of war, if you will.
It's one of those World War II. I'm a general moving soldiers around the map thing. There you go. Look at that. So the last question then we'll go again from Cyborg. What is the ratio of material from the book versus Joe the DM's material?
Difficult to say. So the first 2 chapters of the book, there's like 20 short quests. So 10 are in Icewind Dale in the towns, and 10 are kind of further out into the town. I think that's how it's done. And I'm going to be doing every week one of those quests. So it's very much based on things in the book. I'm probably not going to do what I did last week and write something from scratch, although I may do. Probably a lot of them are going to be like this. They'll be inspired by it. There'll be scenes from it, but I'm going to create my own thing. I think Icewind Dale at heart is still a D&D story, so it's ultimately, if you're in a mine, you're going to be going room to room, clearing out and fighting things. If you're in a town, it's still, a lot of them are still based around combat, and I think that's a really valid way of playing, but it's difficult to play in a limited amount of time, and I think our style is still this sort of mystery suspense. So I think quite a few of them I might push 2 or 3 of them together. So just so that one party, because I like doing split, you probably noticed, I like doing split parties. So there'll be a mystery for each one to do. So where there's only one mystery, I might create something new for the other party to do as well.
I think jumping back to that. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Like you said, it's battle oriented, but it's not our style. Like as a player, I don't mind doing battles, but definitely I'm less engaged in battles than all the fun, stupid RP knocking, supporting beams and ending. Like it's not what I live for in D&D. I know about the other 2 guys or 4 guys, I guess, in this situation.
Combat is fine, but I do prefer like the kind of getting to the stage of combat, so the shenanigans you get up to basically. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was going to say before, I've never actually played with a map and tunes or rolled actual dice. Well, I did roll dice once at a live event that Joe and myself went to.
Oh, and,
Owen as well. That's the first time I rolled dice. Oh,
I didn't own dice for the first 4 years of our podcast. I only got dice because I went to a D&D live event.
Yeah.
Like
it was our experience. There you go.
Yeah.
Go
Go on.
Go on, do it.
My players, they'll do things like, I'm going to animate a corpse and I'm going to throw it at the bad guy. I'm like, yeah, that works. That does. Like, I'm not going to worry about very mechanical stuff. I'm like, that just does a lot of damage. It's better to like, make any combat interesting and narrative rather than like really slog it out sometimes. I feel, especially when it's like streaming podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like if you're at a table with your friends and you have all night to play, yeah, you can do the number crunching then. But if you're doing it for a live audience or doing it for a podcast, you don't want to get bogged down in the numbers. Like, really, really rules lawyer it. Even though I will totally rules lawyer when it's in my favor.
Yeah. Call Joe really insulting names. But like, you've got it wrong, and I'm dying on this hill. I don't care about the show.
I will add an addendum. So we have got 8 more. So part of season 1, we've got 8 more sessions. Part of those, there will be some serious combat. So I know for our finale, it's going to be 1 story across 2 weeks. So we have 4 hours to play with, which gives us a lot more leeway to do more detailed combat. So there absolutely will be D&D combat. Our players are going to be leveling up, not every week, but they will be leveling up throughout the 8 weeks. And so we are going to see a range of their powers. There is going to be an opportunity to use maps. I know Aram in the background has done a really cool way of incorporating maps into our Twitch stream. It is a big part of D&D. I came from like a wargamer background. I used to play Games Workshop as a kid. I love that part of D&D. It's a big part of what I like. I think it's just it won't be every week.
Yeah, and if you do love that part of it and the battles and the gaming, do you know who does a lot of battles in gaming? We do on the How We Roll podcast in the Curse of Stradark.
Yeah.
Just saying. I worked in sales folks for a while, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, we're going to quickly do a giveaway because a lot of people have been hanging around 2 hours. What we're going to do for the giveaway, guys, we have a lot of people entered here. I think we have 28 people entered. Is that right? We do. We have 28 people entered. So we're going to have the first one we're giving away, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, is a booster pack for Rime of the Frost Maiden. So which is basically a random mini from the WizKids collection that are made for this.
Yeah,
material.
they're really, really cool as well. Yeah, really, really cool.
Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that everyone is eligible. I have to, because these bozos beside me, I have to take Niall, make him ineligible. I have to make Kuran eligible. They can't win our own fucking draw. So give me a second.
Wait, I didn't apply for it.
Sorry, maybe you didn't. Well, I just see Niall there. I just assumed that you'd all do the same.
I didn't apply for anything.
The Ragdoll has applied for it.
Well,
so bear with us 2 seconds. Also, Kuran also has applied for it.
It's just by typing in chat.
Yes, by typing the enter. Yeah, it's a very specific code. You've clearly typed in that.
No,
I haven't
literally,
I haven't typed the I love DIR.
So while Owen sorts this, you have
Give
a
me 1
chance
second.
to enter. If you type in I love does it roll into chat, or you can say I love DIR.
And while you do that, thank you to all the Total Party Chillers that tuned in today. Appreciate you guys showing up, showing some support, and hanging out with us as we're guest stars. Oh my gosh, we're guest stars.
We got so many emojis.
We saw a lot
my
of
goodness.
emojis popping up from
Amazing.
Total Party Chilled fans.
Nice.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
seeing that come
The
in.
pizza cult
Yeah.
is here.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
Full force.
All right, so are we ready? We have it's 37 people eligible when I get everyone ticked
Nice.
off.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to roll this for the first one. It should pop up in chat who the winner is. If that winner wants to message us on twitch.tv on this account that you see in chat, or we will message you as well just to see if you're eligible. If people don't claim it by Friday of this week, we'll then roll it over into next week and have an extra giveaway. Okay, so the first winner is, anyone do a drum roll? No? First winner is Swordnut, longtime follower of the show, Paul in Manchester.
Hey.
Hey,
Nice. Congratulations, Paul.
very
Congratulations. So because you won the cool main prize, Paul, you also come out of the hat, I'm afraid, along with Niall, who's trying to scumbag free prize off
Would
us.
you stop?
The next one then is the code for a digital version of this campaign in D&D Beyond. Right, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So sent over by D&D Beyond. Thank you so much.
The same thing as this. We'll do the same thing. We'll message you. To claim it, you will have to create an account on D&D Beyond, but that is free, and we can then give you the code to claim it on there.
D&D Beyond is a great digital toolset for all your D&D
It's so good.
needs.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
It is phenomenal. It makes dum-dums like me able to create a character in D&D. Only doing it for 5 years. So the next winner is 1, 2, 3. Bio
Treco!
Wow.
That's actually our mod.
I know that guy.
There we go. All right, so there we go. There's
Amazing.
our 2 prizes. Bio's definitely in the chat, so
Yeah.
maybe he won't claim for Friday, guys. Hold your breath. You might be in the draw next week. Biotraco has been dropping a lot of emotes and stuff as well.
And we'll be giving away these every week. We've got enough codes to give away 1 copy of D&D Beyond's Rime and the Frost Maiden every week for the next 8 weeks. We're going to be giving away WizKids boxes every week, and we also have an enormous white dragon figure, which we are going to be giving away in an episode, which may or may not feature a white dragon.
Oh, come on.
So watch out for that.
It could
Hopefully I won't be level 2 when that happens.
It could just be like 50 kobolds stacked on top of each other.
In a coat, looking
In
at
a white coat.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking me going around with a harpoon and daggers when I could just have a bunch of daggers that are actually just harpoons that have been retracted.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
I mean, pay me,
We're
man.
gonna kick her
I'll
out.
pay you.
Okay, so look, guys, I think we're going to sign off in a sec. Before we sign off, we're going to let everyone drop their socials, pimp themselves out, let you know where you can catch up with them. Once again, we'll go with our 2 amazing guests from Total Party Chill. Do you want to go first, Devon?
Yeah. Again, Devon, the head dungeon master of ceremonies here at Total Party Chill. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Total Party Chill. You can find us on Twitter with the handle Total Party Chill with no vowels, because Total Party Chill is too long for Twitter.
No vowels makes it cool.
Yeah,
So
that's how you know.
vowels
That's how you
and
know we're young and snappy.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram at Sweet Baby Angel Saint. I don't post any D&D things, but if you liked seeing my face, there's more of that there.
Feeling thirsty. Well, it's well worth it. It's a good face, guys.
There we go.
Kuran, what about yourself? Where are you and where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter. That's at Kuran_J. That's KURAN_J. Or you can find me on Twitch. I won't be streaming for a little bit because I'm moving back to the UK tomorrow. I literally have to pack after this.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's fun. But my Twitch is twitch.tv/KURANJ, and I usually just play some stuff and hang out with people on Mondays and Fridays. Yeah. Other than that, you find me on the How We Roll Discord. It's a good place to hang out. Everyone should definitely check that out.
And then, Niall, what about yourself? What do you do on the internet?
I'm on the How We Roll Discord. I have my Twitter handle down here at HWRpod. Oh, I pointed in the wrong part. Down here.
No, the noob. I'm mortified.
At HWR Podcast, Niall. I'm not great at Twitter, but I try.
He doesn't try.
Yeah, I do try. Come on. And also, yeah, like I said, the How We Roll Discord, I'm pretty active on there. You'll find me in many of the different channels that are available in there.
Joseph, what about yourself?
So as you can see down there, you can see me at HWR Podcast on Twitter. We have a podcast Discord, which is incredibly active. We've got 600 people at least. Super cool place. Definitely check that out. You also can find us on our podcast. We do Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu. Most of our stuff has a kind of horror mystery thing, sometimes more light, sometimes much darker and much more suspenseful. So do please check us out. Search for How We Roll Podcast, and we're on all normal places where you can find podcasts.
Thank God. I'm glad one of you pitched the podcast we're all fucking on. My God, lads. And then for me, guys, I'm How We Roll On. You can see it down there in the corner. I'm on Twitter at How We Roll On. If you want to join this fantastic Discord they're all talking about, I'm the only one that has the pinned message on his Twitter. So you have to follow me if you want to get into the Discord. If you're looking for games, just other cool people to talk about D&D with, we discuss the shows here, just fan theories and this kind of stuff. It's all there. We also have our own Does It Roll Discord. You'll see in the panels down below you can check out. I'm also on the Does It Roll YouTube, the Does It Roll podcast. The guys are terrible at pitching all the stuff we do. And I have my own Twitter at How We Roll Owen. And Owen is that crazy bit at the end of How We Roll in my app. So look, my at even. That's it from us. I think. Thank you very much. Joe, as I guess the leader of our cult, is there anything you want to say to sign off? It'd be really awkward to say no now.
So there has been like an undergoing story that's going throughout. Or there's a few undergoing stories going throughout, but there's been a big thing around Kuran's character, and I think we will be exploring that some more next week, which will be really, really cool. So if you enjoy the whole kind of like alien tentacles horror vibe that we've sort of been building for the last couple of episodes, please join us next week to find out how that concludes.
I'm gonna drink something, and I'm gonna feel bad, and then I'm gonna fall down in a canteen, and something's gonna burst out of my chest, and it's gonna be.
I will transform into a small ginger cat.
Same time next week, guys. 8 p.m. UK, 3 Eastern. I don't know what that is in PST and the hippie West Coast, but you can work off 3 Eastern. Noon. There you go. Noon. Thank you very much, Jakub. We'll be announcing our special guest each week on the Does It Roll Twitter on Wednesday, we'll say. Thank you very much. Thanks again to Aram. Check him out at Varshan on Twitter, VARTAIN, or at Godsfall with a 0 for the O. That's our show. I think we're signing out now, right? Hopefully.
Yeah,
I'm not awkward looking at the camera with Aram waiting to sign us off.
Well, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.